Well, welcome in, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Great to be here with you guys on a Tuesday. And I'm Woodsy, by the way. Stephen Woods. Go by Woodsy. Paul Reindl is our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, good morning.
And Ben Higgins is our friendly neighborhood sports anchor. He joins us as well. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning, everybody. Day 2 of Ben and Woods summer break.
Yeah, you might think to yourself, it's summer break. Padres aren't playing. It might be a good time for me to sample maybe other radio shows. The answer to that is absolutely not.
Why would you even bring that up?
Yeah, I'm just telling them.
Don't throw that in the universe.
Well, I mean, I did it recently. I did it. Yeah, they're not good. This is where you need to be. I did it.
You did it for everybody else to tell them they don't have to.
I already did all the hard work, and now look, it's not great. So this is what you get. All right, Ben and Woods this week. And
your unbiased opinion.
Bro, I'm able to take my I'd be objective about it. I'm very objective.
Very objective.
I am massively. If you guys know me at all, I'm very objective. Very objective.
Yes. So if we truly were the 4th best radio program in the mornings in San Diego, you would honestly come and tell us.
I think you guys know that I would. I probably would be like, hey, we're number 4 right now, and that's not good. So you guys better get your S together ASAP. All right? I don't know that I'd say that on the air, but we're not. No, we're doing good. We're doing really well, and happy to be here with you guys this week. Anybody heard from our fearless leader Adam Klug at all? Any texts or anything?
Nothing.
Is he not even on producer's thread or?
He returned an email from me yesterday.
He did?
Yes, he was nice. I apologized, but I did email him. He emailed me back. That's about it, though. I got that reply email that says you're out of office and have limited access to email, which is. Where on earth do you have limited access to email? That is 100%.
That's garbage.
Garbage.
He's in Las Vegas.
If you have a phone with you and you're in a city with cell service, and I'm pretty sure Las Vegas is one of them, you have access. It's not limited.
Just say I'm not checking.
You
my
say
email.
I'm turning off my notification.
Correct. Yeah.
But you don't have limited access to email.
You have full access. The only thing that's limiting it is you.
Nobody has limited access to email anymore.
You'd be in Borneo, and you're like, I got to answer this thing.
I didn't even get the text, like the video of the national anthem 3 hours later. Hey, making sure you saw this.
Bro.
Be like, oh, really? No, I haven't. It's only been posted a million times.
So when he checked out, which is good. He deserves to check out. He's got he deals with a lot of S. He's got to deal with me every day. He's got to deal with, I don't know, Ben some, I'm sure. What was your email in regards to?
You don't need to know.
Oh, you're dead.
What was your email in regards to? I'm going to ask you again.
You don't need to know.
What? What's there to hide? Oh, he was asking for something.
No.
I don't. Yes, you were asking for something.
I was asking for
What's
something.
his replacement?
No.
Padres tickets.
No. Bother him on vacation for something.
Wouldn't you?
That wasn't time relevant.
Wouldn't you?
There's no Padres game at home, at least, for 2 weeks. I'm not going to bother him for something like that.
It'll be August. The concert tickets of some sort.
No.
I don't believe you. And now I'm furious that he will not share what he needs. Day off?
No.
Carlos, Ben asked for 2 round tables.
Yeah, you wanted more reps on the round table? Maggie says leave Ben alone. Maggie, you can't do this job without a certain level of trust and openness. You know how we operate. I'm going to get it out of him before the end of the day.
I'm afraid that you're going to, but this is something that I need to keep.
Was it about all the trainings we've had to do?
Oh, if it was about the trainings,
I haven't even started. I know you guys
copy me on that.
Hey,
yeah,
is this mandatory?
You guys, all right. I'll just pull it up on my phone. All right, so I did last week. I did the 2-hour.
Oh God, I have not started that.
You guys got to get this thing done. It was a 2-hour sexual harassment training that we have to do. And I'll tell you, listen, I can honestly say I have never worked with any single person that was that sexually harassed anybody else in front of me, at least. Like, to my knowledge, I've never seen, like, some of the...
You ever been getting coffee in the kitchen? You're like, geez, that was aggressive.
Right. No. I mean, look.
Settle down,
bro,
Bill.
I've worked in radio long enough, but I've been around people that, like, when somebody walked out of the room, maybe said something crass, but never, like, hey... let's go for a ride later, and I don't mean in my car. You know what I mean?
Like the scenarios they play in the videos in the training,
bro. And which, okay, it's training. You have to kind of amplify it up. But so I did that one. It was 2 hours.
Ray says, "What do they say about GIMP masks in the training?"
Well, we're in a enclosed. This is just the three of us. Yeah,
it's enclosed.
It's
okay.
We have all said it's fine. Now
this is a room of professional creators.
Yeah.
Now you know why I'm emailing Adam behind your back during the week.
One thing I did notice in there, it was sexual harassment and bullying, and I started thinking about the things that I've said and done to Ben, and then I started thinking about the things I've said and done to Adam.
You're a bully.
And I went, oh, no. But, bring the noise. I mean, Adam's like, I love it, by the way. Keep it up,
We have
man.
a picture of your sexual harassment right on the wall behind me
there it is. Oh, no,
proudly displayed.
That was a workout.
That was a workout.
But that was nothing, man. And then I woke up, from my 3-day slumber vacation, and I had, this is no joke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 emails from July 12th through July 12th. 20 emails sent by the same person on the same day about some other training, which I still don't know if it has anything to do with me. But there's 20 emails from one guy named Chris, and that's apparently something that we all have to go do as well. So
I didn't get those.
You did not?
No.
Chris Devins is his name?
I got all of them.
You got all those too?
I erased them immediately.
Lord, man.
I felt like someone accidentally sent multiple invitations to something that I didn't need to go to.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to ignore those as well. But listen, this is a good week. While the Padres are off, you guys knock out your sexual harassment train. I'll give you the first scenario.
I have
gnarly.
to do two because
I
I have two
another
jobs,
job.
so I've got them both. And I understand why it's probably necessary. I just don't know why it's 2 hours long. It just feels like, hey, 15 minutes, go through the basics of what you don't need to do. Why does it have to be 2 hours long?
Because you know why. You know why. They make you, there's actually a timer on every page. And like it'll say, read these definitions. You read them. Now I'm a fast ass reader.
Like 28,
you read them, and then you have to
26,
sit, and
25.
you got to wait. You got to wait for it to finish, and then you have to answer the questions. And no, I mean obviously it's really important, but the scenarios presented in there were, I mean, like wildly uncomfortable. To where if I saw that at work, I'd be like, bro, are you out of your effing mind? Like, you can't be serious right now with what you just said to that girl. You cannot be. I've worked around some crass people. I'm pretty crass, but like, it's so out of left field, which I think, they have to show you the extremes.
And I mean, the acting in these training videos is
this one's
pretty horrendous.
This one's not bad. I'm telling you, this one's pretty good. It's good production value that we're getting from this. So this is a good week. You guys got to knock these things out. Get it all done. But I have not heard from Adam. Apparently, Ben has. I'm dying to know what the gist of this email was that he will not share. If you tell me that I can't have it, guess what?
I know.
I want it more.
I know.
All right. What else? Paulie, what else could it be if he's not
Paulie
asking
knows.
for...
Oh, Paulie knows.
Paulie knows?
No, Paulie knows.
But I don't?
Yeah.
BS.
That should give you a little hint there.
Oh. You got me a birthday exotic dancer?
Something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, good. How nice of you to remember my birthday. I would hate if somebody forgot mine.
Everybody out there, just a reminder, this Friday is Woods' birthday.
This is a tough one. 49's a tough one.
Last birthday in the 40s. Starting your 50th trip around planet Earth on Friday.
It hurts, man. It really does.
Or around the sun, I guess.
It really hurts. In fact, it's funny you say that. You know where I'm going today after the program? I'm going to QC Kinetics. Now, I got my wrists done at QC Kinetics.
What are we working on now?
Knees.
Knees.
Now, they're fine, but they're fine, but it's almost like a preemptive strike. They are a little sore, but it's more of like a, hey, man, I'm really enjoying playing baseball again. Like, And I'm really enjoying playing with my kid. Like, I love it so much. I watched Bo at camp yesterday, and Hannah's like, please shut up, dude. You're not the coach of this. And I'm like, but they need to know. I love it. I am so on fire for it.
You don't have some birthday auto
erotica?
Planned that you just want to, like, prepare your niece
My
for?
niece, all right, settle down. Not everybody knows that story. You have to be a member to know that story. So I'm going in for a little preemptive strike today on my knees because I have my right knee. I injured it recently. All right? So I injured it, and it hurts. But I want to get it, like, preemptively done. And so I'm going in today to get, like, a consultation with them because they absolutely changed my life with my wrists. So if they can do that for my wrists, what can they do for my knees? Carlos asked, when's the colonoscopy? Already did it. Did it, year and a half ago. It was an amazing experience. Have you done yours yet?
No, I just did remember the Cologuard. And
I remember Cologuard.
I got a clear pass after the first hiccup. Didn't take.
When you had the box and it was too full and they had to send it back. It was really fun. It was really...
No, they didn't send it back to me. Yours is the one that got delivered
I delivered it back
you.
to myself.
You sent your own doo-doo to yourself.
Mine
Correct.
just got
Ben
rejected.
just left a giant grizzly bear
a grizzly bear.
pile of...
Dung in a box.
I said,
Sir, this is
Good God.
way too much. This is way, way, way too much. And then you had to do it again, yeah? Yeah, incredible. Heather wants to know, why do I call myself a boomer when I'm only 50? Heather, because I still don't know how to use the email on my phone. That's why. I have to call Paulie on the weekend.
So
Once
you
or
do have
twice a
limited
day.
access to your email.
Yeah,
actually
but that's
has
not
limited.
because of my. It's not because of my location. It's because
your
of
own ineptitude.
It's because of
I
my
have limited
ineptitude.
access.
How many times a week do I call you for something?
I'd love to see
4 or 5.
What was
Send what's an
yesterday?
email.
Yesterday was something. It was about YouTube. Yesterday was about YouTube, and I'm like, Paulie,
what does this mean?
What does this mean on
good?
YouTube?
Is this bad? What do we need to do? I'm like,
Get that
literally.
automatic
means
reply
nothing.
from Woods when I send him an email. It says, I have limited access to email because, well, I just don't
I'm
know
a
how to
moron.
use it
Yeah.
on my phone.
I was actually texting with our buddy in Padres PR, our buddy Danny, the other day, and I had asked him for a favor, and he said, yeah, what's the date? So I gave him the date, and it's in like September. And he goes, ooh. I go, what? He goes, can you put it in an email? I go, yeah, sure. He goes, can you also remind me the week before? And I go, well, that's what the email. So I go, you know what, Danny? Yeah. I go, Paulie does that for me. Paulie, you're going to need to remind me of the meeting that I have already set. I'd be lost and dead without Paulie. There's no question about it. I probably lean on him more than you do, Benjamin. But well, good start to the show today. I wanted to say something last night as well. We were texting about this. I miss talking to the tier ones on the telephone. I was thinking about when we used to do open phones out of the show, like out of the open. Like it was open phones right out of the chute.
Like in the 5 a.m. hour.
In the 5 a.m. hour when they used to force us to come in here at 5 a.m. But I miss talking to the tier ones out there. This is a good week for it. We're exploring the space. Would love to talk to you guys. 833-288-0973. And call
well
us.
Done.
Let me give you a clear one. 833-288-0973. Give you a clear, nice number read. And would love to talk to you guys today. Literally about whatever's on your mind.
Absolutely.
I mean, truly. That was not me. Truly, whatever's on your mind.
All right, we'll set the very light menu when we come back. And, of course, we'll get into the home run derby escapades last night in Texas and talk a little bit about the Padres at the All-Star game as well.
Did you see what is on here? I was surprised by this.
Oh, yeah, we can...
I don't know what this is. A little Paulie surprise.
Totally surprised, but we can set the menu next, what's coming up on the program today. Kelly's in with a check of traffic, and we are started. That was a little bit of everything to get us started on Tuesday on San Diego's #1 sports station, Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Saw a quote yesterday from Jurickson Profar that caught my eye. And he did some interviews. I played some sound. He was on, I think, with MLB Network, talking about what you'd expect. Excited to be there. Kyrie's excited to be there.
We got that if you want to play it later.
Yeah, we can play that later.
I'd like to hear it.
Good stuff from Jurickson Profar. But this is actually from the UT story that is about Jurickson Profar and Will Smith being together as teammates now on the National League All-Star team.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Kevin Acee rehashes the
Oh, God.
Did you just say Kevin Acee
rehasses?
Acee rehasses.
I switched the...
Did you switch to decaf or...
No, still on
You on
caffeine.
Alka-Seltzer?
Back early in the season when Jurickson thought maybe the Dodgers were throwing at him, Gavin Stone realized he had a perfect game, wasn't throwing at him, and then the quote that was kind of famous and inspired T-shirts that even Padres players wear from Will Smith. I don't know why we would have thrown at him. He's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
And, Profar has always downplayed it, not a big deal,
He's
whatever.
the master. He is literally the master at, turning up the volume. He turns up the volume, but then when people ask him, he's like, what? I don't know. He's got the thing.
It's going to be a bold comparison, but he's got a little bit of Michael Jordan.
There's no question. There's absolutely no
Michael
question.
Jordan he took it to another level.
He
would make stuff up. But if you ever said anything to Michael,
he'd
remember it for 12 years, however long it took.
And he'd use it.
It was fuel.
But then the difference is when they asked Jurickson about this stuff, he's like, I just love to play baseball, man. I play with my heart.
Every time.
My soul. I'm passionate. I'm on fire for baseball. It's so good.
So, and Will Smith kind of had at least a semi-apology yesterday. He said, you know what? It was the situation only. My bad. It was nothing personal. He's fiery, plays hard. He's a competitor. In competition, the best and worst comes out of us. He's a competitor and a good player. So, water under the bridge, moving forward. But the quote
Speak for yourself.
Whatever. The quote that struck me, though, this is from Jurickson. And you tell me what you think this means. Says, it doesn't matter. It's going to be okay. He's another baseball player. He's not the enemy. I have seen enemies in front of me before. Really, really enemies in Curacao. Will Smith is a baseball player.
Ooh. That's badass.
Who are Jurickson's enemies back in his native island home of Curacao?
He probably grew up, poor and saw some really, really tough stuff, when he was growing up. Again, for him, he always talks about...
There's a backstory to Jurickson that I think that we don't really totally know.
And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
We know the Little League World Series.
Oh, yeah.
We know
badass.
The smile. He's always smiling and enjoying himself. But there's something in him that...
Well, he's got an edge, man.
That gave him that edge growing up. And I think he kind of hints at it there. Whatever it is, don't know what it is. But there's definitely a hidden story for Jurickson Profar.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to ask him about it. That's not something I want to know. And clearly is not something he wants to expand on. But, yeah, man, I think, Ben, when you have people like that come from... the very, very modest and humble spot that he came from, you think Will Smith calling him irrelevant is really going to bother him? These guys, you read the stories about what these guys played with growing up in the islands. One guy used a detergent box as a glove. They flipped those bottle caps. It was in Curacao. I saw the video of the kid flipping bottle caps, and that's what they take BP with. So I don't know that Will Smith saying that really is going to bother him when he's seen, it's just perspective. It's just a matter of perspective. But he has just grown. I've always liked Jurickson a lot. And I've grown to adore him. Adore him. And my kids love him. Bo, the way he looks at him with reverence when he got to shake his hand, he was the most excited. It was Jackson Merrill, Jurickson Profar. He couldn't believe himself that he got to meet those guys. And every time he comes on the screen, my 6-year-old goes, I love Profar. I love Profar. I love Profar. Such a good player, such a good dude. And seeing him there with his kid yesterday brought tears to my eyes. It was incredible.
I'm hoping that Jurickson at least gets a chance for 2 ABs tonight. It's going to be a little tougher in that Torey Lovillo's put him 9th in the order.
Absolutely fine, man.
But I think if he gets 2 ABs, that's awesome. That means he's in the game for 5 innings or so at least, and that's great. That's all you really want to be in for an All-Star game.
Get him his AB and get him out of there. Making it and being voted in and being so deserving of it is really the prize for him. Very, very cool that he's there.
All right, coming up on the program today, quickly, so set the menu. When we come back, we will get into what happened last night at the MLB Home Run Derby in Texas, both during the Derby and, before the Derby. We got that audio. You probably caught it, but certainly something that surprised everybody last night. We've got our regular features in our 7 o'clock hour, Take on Woods. And Don't Do This at 7:10 and 7:20. Now, here's the one that Woods mentioned that's on our rundown here that I did not know about until I arrived this morning.
Same.
7:35. Ben and Woods Decipher Mumble Rap.
I mean, okay.
So I remember when we did Ben Decipher's Grunge.
Do you have a clip, Paulie, perhaps?
I do.
Okay, this is
a couple years ago, maybe?
A couple years ago, we were in the Corona Cave, and...
No, this was here.
Oh, was it here?
This was post-Corona Cave.
Ben had said to us, he's like, oh, Woodsy, I know you were way into grunge. He goes, I missed it. And I was like, how could you miss that era? And he goes, I could never really understand what they were saying. And I wasn't real angsty. And I was. Yeah, go figure. And I said, all right, well, let me get like 5 of the greatest grunge hits and see if you can tell what they're saying. And it
okay. When she put it under, she owned it. It's a day to see her love.
I mean, it's not the hell. It's not even close.
One more time.
When she put it under, she owned it. It's a day to see her love.
No.
When she couldn't hold on, she folded. A dissident.
Well, I got the she part.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You got one word.
You did get one word right. So I'm involved in this now.
Yeah, this is gonna be like me against you two.
This is you
I'll
against
let
us.
you two work as a team.
Oh my God, we get to team up finally. It's not just me v you.
Nice. All right, yeah. This is part of our summer break. Let's keep
fun.
it light, have some fun. So we'll get to that at 7:35. Second half of the program. We want some open calls. We want to talk to you guys out there as well. 833-288-0973. Reindl Report, everything. Just having a good time all the way until 10 o'clock today. Keeping it light and fun during our summer break week here. Get you ready for the All-Star game tonight as well. So, little menu set. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Home Run Derby last night. And, of course, the National Anthem debacle.
It was a debacle. Straight up.
In a different way than, Carl Lewis and some of the others.
Yeah.
This hit a little differently last night. If you did miss it, you do not want to miss what happened in the National Anthem performance before the Home Run Derby last night. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So you guys weren't here back in 1990.
No.
When Roseanne sang the national anthem at the Q.
That was a regular season game.
It was just a regular season game. Became national headlines.
I remember it. I remember it well.
It went viral. Well, before things went viral, it went traditionally viral on national media for her disrespectful performance and spitting on the field when performing the national anthem. And if you remember, she was invited. One of the Padres owners, Tom Werner, TV producer, it was kind of a publicity, promotional stunt. Roseanne, one of the shows that was on, so they had her on. But no one expected her to be an angel-voiced singer of the national anthem.
They didn't expect her to grab her crotch and spit doing, a baseball play.
What a party we have at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Oh, man. Oh,
I mean, it just was an ill-conceived idea.
Yeah, sometimes bits go bad.
And, she reacted poorly. The fans then, were mad about it. And you understand how it got away. That's not what happened last night at the Home Run Derby.
No, and I mean, you've seen people come in and not do a great job at the Derby. And listen, I thought about it this morning. I was in the shower. I'm like, look, this is somebody's daughter, sister, girlfriend, whatever. So I don't want to be too hard on her, but what I will say is this. When you're a singer and you put yourself out there to sing and you don't do a good job at singing, people are going to talk about it. And I don't know what happened. I haven't heard if there was some sort of malfunction or the earpiece didn't work. Technical difficulties happen. This was awful.
But this is something you would expect would be a good rendition. And it just wasn't.
I thought Fergie was going to be a good rendition at the NBA All-Star game. She's a singer, and that...
Yeah. Just when you jazz it up a lot,
you can certainly say I don't like that version, but you can't necessarily objectively go, but it's horrible.
Right?
You kind of can.
Well, yeah.
It's definitely not going to be an all-time great one, but
while anybody can do their own rendition of the national anthem, there's kind of one way to do it. Like Fergie, for example, in 2018, I think that was. Like, she was trying to, make it sexy.
Yeah, it's not a sexy song.
You don't have to do that.
But I don't even know what's her name? Ingrid Andress.
Yes.
Who was the singer last night, country artist, who was asked to perform before the Home Run Derby. If you didn't hear it, or even if you did, we're going to go through it coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Just one accident to mention here, guys. This is heading out of Santee, westbound side of the 52 past Mast Boulevard. This car clipped a vehicle pulling a trailer, and on that trailer was a blue porta potty. Well, apparently that vehicle with the trailer kept going because they said, sorry, I got to be somewhere. People got to go. But meanwhile, that vehicle that hit it spun out, hit the center divide, so it looks like a tow truck might be needed there, westbound 52, just past Mast Boulevard. That's it, though. That's all we got going on right now. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, Chris asks, don't they do a sound check or anything? Now,
definitely.
A lot of times, for less important games, regular season games, they're actually all pre-recorded.
Yeah, they'll sing it that day.
They sing it at 1 o'clock when nobody's there.
100%.
And then they lip sing it.
I've heard many of the pre-recordings of the national anthem at Padres games.
That way, nobody can go rogue. When it's live, nobody, it's done, it's ready to go. You know what you're getting. But for playoff games, championship games, all-star games, they do tend to do that live.
Yeah,
so
they do it live.
I would assume yesterday's
let's do it live.
Now, have either of you even heard of Ingrid Andress before yesterday?
No.
Which doesn't mean anything, but
it means nothing.
Country music singer-songwriter, her breakthrough single, More Hearts Than Mine, in 2019, peaked at number 30 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Give me some of that.
Her single, The Stranger, number 49 on country airplay, and her single, Wishful Drinking, became her second entry on the Billboard Hot 100. So, apparently a country artist, 32 years old, of somewhat recent vintage, who's had a couple of songs that have done well lately. Oh,
Fort?
okay.
If I bring you home to mama.
Beautiful.
That's fine.
Voice of an angel.
Good.
Even Woods can't
Fantastic.
complain about that.
Hell no, it's beautiful.
Nothing wrong with that. But what happened last night, we still don't know. Paulie, if you would, Ingrid Andress, the national anthem in Arlington, Texas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so proud?
Right there is where I started to go, uh-oh.
So I was sitting down, I was eating chicken, and I was, shoveling it into my mouth on my phone, and it was on in the background. And when she hit that note, I immediately looked my head up at the TV. I went,
perked up.
Oh God. And then I stood up. When I get nervous,
Your content senses were tingling.
my content senses were tingling, and I stood up. Because when I get nervous, I stand up and walk around.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for the
What so
entirety.
proudly we hail by the twilight's
That's not how it goes.
That's not how it goes.
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming.
What is that? Stream.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
She has a habit of
ill-advised.
not finishing her words.
Yes.
Night,
Prue.
night. There's a last letter on some of these
Oh,
words.
say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Nope. No.
And the home of the brave.
I'm so sorry for her. It had to be a rough night, and there's only one way to handle it. You have to lean in and go, how bad was I last night? I mean, there is
I
only...
genuinely felt bad for
There,
her.
I did too.
Like the whole country is going to be making fun of this girl.
Twitter just went...
Yes, but didn't you also feel bad for like the participants who had to stand there and on the field, and everyone, the cameras, the close-ups are on like the players, and
Alec
like, what do you
Boehm's
do?
face, he's like just holding it together.
I always remember Fergie at the NBA All-Star game, like Draymond.
Draymond?
Green, he's like, he can't even
He
hold
can't
it
hold
back.
it in.
Steph's like biting his lip. LeBron's like looking around like, please don't put the camera on me. Please don't
It
put the
is,
camera on me.
it's tough, dude.
I mean,
And
there is a note for the word "free," like written in the song. The original music.
Right.
She turned it into like a good 12 different notes, and I don't know if any of them was the correct one there.
I mean, it also, I wonder if you have a couple of whiskeys before just to calm your nerves. Because when she started, I thought, oh man, she sounds maybe like that she's had a couple of whiskeys, to calm her nerves. But it was an auspicious start to the home run derby last night, to be sure. And I did feel terrible for her. But, listen, again, you're a singer and you biff that bad, you're going to get worn out for it. And there's only one thing to do. You have to lean into it and be like, I was terrible last night. Sorry
Last
about
time
that.
I take mushrooms before the national
Yeah,
anthem.
can't believe I did bath salts right before I did the national
What was I
anthem.
thinking?
I mean, it was horrid.
As for the Derby, your guys' thoughts on... I liked the format change for the Derby. I thought it was better than what they used to do before. But it wasn't a good Derby, though, until at least the last couple of minutes.
The Incredible Boomer is fully back, and that's when I go full Boomer. I'm ready to get back to basics. I'm ready to get back to players in their own unis for the whole All-Star festivities. Where everyone's wearing their own stuff, and I'm ready to get back to what was it? 10 swings,
10 outs.
10 outs. I'm ready to get back to it, man. And I want to watch these home runs. You see me in the chat. I'm the Incredible Boomer. Paulie turns me green. I'm ready to get back to. Now, was the Derby always 3 hours long? It was
It's getting long. It's getting
hours long. There were 4 people left by the time it was over. I mean, the guy that won, Teoscar Hernandez of the Dodgers, Tyler Glasnow was his only teammate there. And people were like ripping the Dodgers for that. I go, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I would have been
families
gone.
there. It's
They're like, bro, I want to eat.
You can't make me stay here for 3 hours.
I want
to
eat. Give me the best of the. And the other thing is, there's nothing against any of those players. They're all excellent, excellent players. But it wasn't the same as when you had Judge and Harper and Giancarlo. I mean, prodigious home run hitters.
To me, the format was correct. The participants were incorrect. When there are people out there like Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, and they're just not participating.
And the time I was in on the timing thing, and now that I watched it again last night, I'm out. It takes so long.
I thought
and they're so gassed. They're so gassed after a minute and a half.
I really thought after they moved to the new format before they tweaked it again this year.
They'd love to tweak stuff.
I thought when they originally moved formats to the timed head-to-head competition, I thought it moved quicker.
I thought so too.
But yesterday dragged on, and I thought the second round was okay. First half just was so boring. Bohm versus Teoscar was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Swing off.
The swing off was fine.
And the championship, kind of a low number, 14 or whatever, but at least it was close.
The final round wasn't as long, so they knew the number would be lower.
Yeah, they knew it would be, it would be lower.
And it actually was a really thrilling finish. If you made it all the way through the 3 hours, you got a terrific ending. Teoscar Hernandez goes first, puts up 14 home runs, gets a couple in the bonus round. And then you can see that Bobby Witt Jr. is kind of on the edge, and then he gets hot at the end, and he gets to 13, and he hits the bonus one. So he gets 2 outs left to try to get 1 to tie and 2 to win. But the first pitch, line drive, it's an out. So he's down to 1 swing. This is why I think the format change was good, because there's no clock ticking. You can then build up the drama. He can take a pitch or 2 until he gets the one he wants. Either he homers and he has a chance to win it. They're going to a swing off, or they're going to, or he's going to win it in dramatic fashion, or not. So it's the moment you're hoping for in the home run derby.
It just took too long to get there.
And he hits one, and he drives it 103 miles an hour deep to left center, and everyone's getting excited. The camera follows the ball, so you don't really have the perspective it's going to be long enough, and it comes down. And it hits the wall about halfway up, and just another 5 feet, and he would have gotten there. But instead, Teoscar Hernandez wins. That's all you can dream for if you're hoping for an entertaining end to a home run derby.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at the end, though, you imagine if you had Aaron Judge against
Fernando
Tatis Jr. and they're hitting balls.
Ohtani,
Judge, right.
Stanton,
and it's all right. Here's the final round.
Harper,
these 2 are going off, and
Schwarber.
Listen, I mean, again, they're all phenomenal players. I love Bobby Witt Jr. He's one of my favorite players to watch. Colleyville, Texas. That's where I grew up. The same high school as my brother went to. I hometown kid.
Alec Bohm, great player.
Great player.
I don't know that I need to see him in a home run derby. He did fine.
That was it.
Fine, but I want
the home run
big
hitters,
boys
man.
out there.
I do too.
20 plus per round.
Yeah, I want the big ones, the big tanks, man. And again, I'm fine going back to the old way of doing it because I want to watch these homers. Also the constant chatter throughout. I mean, when they had Ken Griffey Jr. on, which was awesome. Ken Griffey Jr.'s won 3 or something.
3.
And they're talking to him, and they're like, "So Junior, what is he doing here? Is he locking in here? What's he looking for?" And I'm like, guys. It's a home run derby. We know exactly what their goal is here. He's not trying to go the other way. We know he's trying to catch it out front. He's not. Now he's letting it get too deep. It was just unnecessary.
I think, Paul, you made the point in our text thread last night. When Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins exist, you don't really want to watch a slam dunk contest that doesn't include the best
Yeah.
in the world at what they do.
Yeah.
Then you know you're watching the JV competition. And that's what it was. It was the JV home run derby last night.
Yeah.
It was like the NBA eventually just changed.
I
It
mean-
became the rising stars. You had to be like within your first 2 or 3 years in the league. Like nobody wants that. They want to see LeBron and Dwight Howard and Kobe going against each other.
I remember in Todd Frazier, they had him on. Remember when he won the home run derby? I mean, it's horrific. It's just like, I want the best of the best. I also understand why they don't. Maybe you do it at the end of the year. Maybe you do it. I don't know how you fix it. But it was, and I love baseball and I love home runs so much. It was such a snooze fest for me. It really was. I was just half asleep the whole time.
Now, I will say that the three of us made our prognostications
crushed
yesterday for the home run derby, and we did, well, I mean, not great in that all of our choices were eliminated in the first round. I had Pete Alonso. You took Gunnar Henderson, and Paulie, you had
Adolis Garcia.
Adolis Garcia. 3 of the favorites, 3 all eliminated in round number 1.
I think Garcia was like the 5th highest odds, and he finished, I think,
and with
fifth
the
in
new
first
format,
round.
it wasn't even like they got unlucky and ran into someone who was hot. No. All they had to do was finish in the top 4 to move into the second round. None of them did.
Yeah.
None of them did.
It just did not grab me last night, man. And I maybe it's star power. Maybe it was the Josh Gorel, our one of our beloved tier ones. He's like, I was in the building, and it was horrible. I mean, as soon as you hear the crack of the bat, there's another pitch on the way. And so, yeah, man, I want to admire it a little bit. You can have fewer participants, better participants, and drag it out in that way. The 10 swings is elite.
I don't know why Pete dragged Grandpa out to throw his BP for him.
Bro, as soon as I saw that guy's first couple throws, I thought about our interview. If you missed our interview yesterday with Ray Crone, who's he was the most elite batting practice pitcher of all time, was talking about it. He goes, watch these guys tonight. And boy, did I. I was getting texts like, I'm watching this in a whole different way because of that interview. And Pete's guy was throwing 46-mile-an-hour lobs in, and Pete was just like trying to get it out. And you could see the frustration.
I knew it was over.
Oh, it was over.
Just because of that interview. I knew it was over as soon as, he's never going to do well.
Not good.
All right, we are 1 hour in. Take on Woods coming up. It is Ben and Woods summer break. Don't go away. Back with more after this on 97.3 The Fan. Some solid content from the Padres social media team last night from the All-Star game. Paulie was showing me this morning. I'd missed it. They had a Kyrie cam. Put a GoPro on Jurickson Profar's 6-year-old so that you could get his perspective as he walked around the home run derby last night, meeting players like Ellie De La Cruz and just watching it from, a child's perspective. Like everyone's taller than he is. He's just kind of like ducking around all the players, and they've got these like sofas and couches out on the field where families and players hang during the event, and he's just walking around just experiencing it all. Pretty cool idea by the Padres social media team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we all as Padre fans wanted to see, and watching his kid get to experience that for his old man was just incredible. After so many years in the league, never had the chance to do it. It was really, really special.
Of course, Jurickson has been saying for a month or so that the real reason he wanted to be here was for Kyrie, who's so excited, loves baseball. Just, worships all these players and wanted to see his dad go to the game. Jurickson said, I really don't care that much, but for him, I want to be there. Kyrie helped get out the vote. Kyrie got Jurickson voted in as a starter, and he got to experience it last night. And Jurickson has been one of the big stories. He was interviewed by MLB Network's Chris Young, not the Rangers general manager, the other Chris Young.
That would be some sort of tampering,
yes,
I would imagine.
I would think so. So he was on. We got some audio from Jurickson Profar last night in Texas.
Congratulations, man. So many ups and downs in your career. What does this mean to you to be to the point to where you're starting in the All-Star game?
Oh, a lot. It means the world. Always, I fell in love with baseball at 6 years old, and, in Curacao, I never even thought about being a major league player. It was just playing baseball for the love of the game. And when I signed at 16, reached the major leagues early, and then a lot of injuries, but one thing, I just kept working every day, and this is rewarding,
When I go back to the depth chart from February or March of the San Diego Padres, I remember the message to everybody was like, who's going to play in the outfield for the Padres outside of Tatis? And now, sitting here at the All-Star game, not too much later, we have Profar and Jackson Merrill in the outfield. What was the message to you when you showed up at spring training, and what was the opportunity that you saw there?
There wasn't really a message. But obviously, by their contract, they're going to get someone to play in the outfield. But I came in with a mission. I just came in feeling good. I played in the Caribbean Series. I played, winter ball. So I felt like, I'm ready to take this job. And I just kept being consistent. One thing I wasn't during my whole career, but this year I really mentally put it together.
I feel like you've proved all the doubters wrong, man, and I'm so happy to see the amount of success that you've been able to have, and for the All-Star game to be here in Texas, I'm assuming that holds a special place in your heart for multiple reasons.
Yes, this is my second home. This is where they give me an opportunity to become a professional baseball player, and I play for a lot of years here. I have, family here. My son and daughter was born here. So this is a very, very special place in my heart.
Enjoy the moment, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good stuff, as always, from the smiling Jurickson Profar experiencing his first All-Star game there in Texas.
I saw some Jackson Merrill content as well in the day. They had him. He was kind of standing up at the desk, and they said, so, who are you in awe of? It's typical Jackson Merrill's like, really no one. I like, it's just cool to talk to these guys as humans instead of just,
this is Jackson Merrill.
Instead of just being on the baseball field, but like, it's just cool to talk to them as like guys, but really, really nobody.
I'm just here to play the game.
Yeah, here to play the game. Every year, it's like there's, a rookie I would be so wide. I'm 49 next on Friday, and I still get as wide-eyed as I did when I was 12. Anytime somebody walks past me, truly, and it probably makes me bad at my job, I don't care. Like, when they walk by me to this day at 48 years old, I go, oh my God, that is Luis Arise, and he is right there. How many times, Paulie, have I elbowed you in the gut and been like, oh my God, look. It's like, and for Jackson Merrill
Every
to just,
time.
yeah, every time. And for Jackson Merrill to just be like, nah, it's just cool. I mean, when you know you belong, you belong, and it was really cool.
I was just so glad to see that one clip of Profar going around because I recognize, it's a huge story to me as a biased Padres fan and a huge fan of Jurickson Profars. But I recognize that it wasn't probably going to get the credit across the country that it deserved. The storyline of Jurickson Profar. Look, rookies make the All-Star game. I don't want to say all the time, but kind of all the time. It happens probably every year. Some star rookie makes the All-Star game. We have several in this year's. You don't typically see a guy make his first All-Star game in his 11th year.
Sure.
10th, whatever it is.
If that All-Star caliber play was going to show up, it'll show up by the 5th or 6th season at the latest.
Maybe he made it in year 3 or 4, and then not again until year 9, 10, 11, or whatever. But he's been there before. He's established. And I'm not saying Profar wasn't established. He was absolutely established as a major league player. But to make your first All-Star game at 11 years in, I would love to know how many times that's happened.
And part of that was the unique opportunity this year. First, we need a contestant for Take on Woods. Let me throw out the phone numbers just so someone can call in, play our game here in a couple of minutes. 833-288-0973. Chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. It's our musical trivia challenge against Woods coming up. But as Chris Young was asking him, it's kind of a unique situation. The Padres traded away Juan Soto and Trent Grisham, and really had one outfielder in Fernando Tatis Jr. going into spring training. Now, we all said, even before they signed Jurickson Profar, well, they're going to sign Jurickson Profar. Yeah. He'll be an option at least, but I don't think any of us expected him necessarily to be an everyday starter.
No.
He was like a fourth outfield option, a designated hitter.
I'm trying to remember
a glue guy.
I'm trying to remember some of the names we threw out there as potential left fielders.
We talked a lot about Jarren Duran and a trade with the Red Sox, before Jackson Merrill was put out into center field. And who else is going to fill those spots?
Sal Frelick was another name.
Tommy
Pham obviously was. I thought it was going to be Pham and Profar for sure. And one of those guys come off the bench and be a fourth outfielder, and not only to have him back, look, at $1 million deal, what a steal, a total steal, and to have him with the production that he's had, and my hope for him is that he continues it in the second half, and he's such a leader on the team, such a vocal leader on the team. He's always forward facing, always talking to the media about what they need to do better. He's been truly a gift this season, watching him and all the accolades that are so richly deserved and earned from Jurickson Profar. It's been awesome.
And I don't know how much credit you give A.J. Preller for that, whether it's just one of those things that just worked out really well, like kind of an obvious move that worked out better than you could possibly have hope. Because
I give the credit to a guy that was just talking about, you got to sign him and get him in. And it seemed like a no-brainer, but the credit to the guy that said, I worked my ass off. I played in the Dominican League and played in the Caribbean Series. I was ready to go. I've stayed focused, mentally strong. That's the guy that gets the lion's share of the credit as the player.
Let's be honest. Jurickson hitting over 300, 12 home runs, leads the team in RBI or second in RBI. We would have taken half of that
and
been happy.
No question.
Half of that. 250, 6 homers, 28 RBI, and we go, whoa, what a nice first half for Jurickson Profar. He exceeded our expectations after what he did in Colorado last year.
Think about the older veterans on cheapish deals that we've brought in over the last couple of years. Guys like Odor, Nelly Cruz, Matt Carpenter.
That wasn't cheap. Matt Carpenter.
That's why I said cheapish.
Cheapish.
Nelly Cruz is like $1 million.
Yeah, he was $1 million.
But you weren't expecting a whole lot.
No, and you didn't get a lot.
We didn't even get what we were hoping.
Odor had a couple of moments, but no consistent play. Nothing like what Jurickson has done this year. It's been incredible.
It's been awesome.
All right, we got some contestants on the line. Let's get to it. It's time for Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Let's go with Billy. Are you there?
I'm here.
You're there. You're our contestant
What's up,
today.
Billy?
Good luck to you. Paulie asked you what's up, Billy.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I'm all right. I'm recovering from COVID.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? This is a good game for you. You don't have to overly exert yourself. Just have to come up with 5 answers to our musical trivia questions. If you can beat or tie Woods, put you into the drawing for our grand prize trip to the Rio Las Vegas. 2-night stay, dinner for 2, day bed at the Rio pool. The Rio is back, new ownership, newly remodeled rooms, 4 sparkling new pools, and a brand new food hall. Book now at riolasvegas.com. All right, it's summer break. I have the girl theme this week. We still have leftover from yesterday. All girls, all the time. Yes, girl power. We've got the 60s and 70s edition with song titles that end with the word Why am I unable to speak this morning? End with the word girl. And then we have the same category from the 2000s and 2010s. And I'm throwing in a new category, even more girls. 5 more song titles that include the word girl. So you can do 60s and 70s, 2000s and 2010s, or even more girls, Billy.
Well, I got 10 years on you, so let's do 60s and 70s.
All right, we're going old school. Today we are looking for 5 song titles that end with the word girl from the 1960s and 1970s. If you don't know an answer, say pass. Come back to it at the end of the 60 seconds. We'll start with our 2-second song. Paulie's going to play a short clip. You need to give me the title and the artist to score that point. Billy, and your COVID, are you ready to play?
Ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Category girl power, 60s and 70s. Again, they all end in girl. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Billy. Let's take on Woods.
That's China Girl, David Bowie.
Correct. It was rumored to be about heiress Patty Hearst, but Daryl Hall and John Oates say which 1977 song was actually written about a spoiled young man. They just changed the gender.
Rich Girl.
Correct. It was the first #1 hit for the Temptations, but which 1965 song was actually written by Smokey Robinson about his wife Claudette?
My Girl.
Correct. Who was Raised on Promises in the title of the 1976 debut single from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, still considered one of their all-time greatest songs?
American Girl.
Correct. The line, "Making love in the green grass behind the stadium," was too risque for some radio stations to play in which 1967 Van Morrison classic?
Brown-Eyed Girl.
So easy. For Billy, that's 5 for 5, and you are in. Congratulations.
That was a eerily easy category for the 60s and 70s.
He took that one nice and simply and made it his own, and he is going to be in the drawing. So stay on the line. Paulie will get your information. The question is, can Woods match Billy here? All right, we'll reset everything. Woods is in. 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Billy.
China Girl by David Bowie.
Correct. It was rumored to be about heiress Patty Hearst, but Daryl Hall and John Oates say which 19...
Rich Girl.
Correct. It was the first #1 hit for the Temptations, but which 19...
My Girl.
Correct. Who was Raised on Promises in the title of a 1976 debut single from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, still considered one of their all-time...
American Girl.
Correct. The line, "Making love in the green grass behind the stadium."
Brown-Eyed Girl.
All right, that was just too easy for both of you. And you might have beaten John with the time on that one. You went quickly on all the answers, but 5-5, a perfect day for Take on Woods for both of you.
Beautiful. Nice performance,
That
Billy.
was girl power from the 60s and 70s.
All girls all the time, right?
Yes,
that's the bit?
That was the draw.
All
from
girls
yesterday. All the time. From
Yeah,
yesterday.
all girls all the time.
Gives you a little hint what's coming the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Though. All right, good job, Billy. Paulie will get your information during the break as we get you ready for Don't Do This, which is coming up in our next segment.
Colin Cowherd just should never, ever, ever talk baseball. How has he not learned his lesson? Hey, I don't talk NBA. You know why? Because I don't know jackass about it.
I actually have I have 3 different stories that I can bring to the table, so we're just going to have to discuss.
You got to hear this, Cowherd. Have
All
you
right,
heard it
'cause
yet?
I have not heard this, so I'm looking
my
forward to it. All right, we'll get to that coming up next after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This, brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. Crafttaco.com. I get a mini Don't Do This. I've been had it pointed out a couple of times, and you're absolutely right. The song China Girl from David Bowie was from 1983, not in the 60s and 70s category. My only defense is that it was written in 1976 by Bowie and Iggy Pop.
Oh.
And Iggy Pop, I guess, released a version in the 70s.
I did not know that.
Bowie didn't release his until the 80s, so I was wrong. Don't feel bad, though, since you both got 5 out of 5.
We both
it's
got
not
it right.
really a big deal,
Yeah,
everybody.
everyone likes to just
but you
point
know
out when you're wrong.
You can all shame me for being off on my year on that one.
Yeah, you're like that girl that did the anthem last night.
Totally.
You're just getting dragged right now. It's the exact same thing. I'll get us started. He's, I'm not the world's biggest Colin Cowherd fan. He's not that bad, but when he talks baseball, it's a little bit tough to hear. We all get stuff wrong. Everybody has. I have, Ben has, Paulie has. We all have. Everybody does. He's such a national presence, though, that when it happens to him, it's obviously a much bigger deal.
Well, the problem is with the national talking heads is they don't admit when they were wrong.
Ever.
Almost ever.
Never.
They talk so matter-of-factly.
That's it. It's
where
the
they talk,
matter-of-factly.
You are so lucky to get to hear
Yes.
my predictions
Yes.
for Week 5 in the NFL this
and
weekend.
they do all have large staffs who can fact check and correct
That's
and
the
go,
thing.
hey, are you sure you want to go this direction here? People who should know better.
I loved this so much. He was talking to Derek Jeter yesterday, and I'll just play you the audio.
The Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirates, dominant guy, overpowering. You faced, obviously, you were in the Nolan Ryan era.
What?
No.
What, not even an inning?
Slow down. No, I was way after Nolan.
Okay, way after Nolan. Okay.
It's actually pretty comical. Next time we interview Dylan Cease, what was it like to strike out Harmon Killebrew?
I will say, as you get older,
it all blends.
The generations of the past do start to blend together.
Trust me, Ben. My recall is horrific. But I think I would know that. I'm trying to think of a comp.
Mark Loretta, what was it like to face Randy Jones?
Yeah, Randy Jones, exactly. He would hit you upside the head. It just
now, Lo, you came from the Randy Jones era. He's
right.
like,
excuse me?
No.
He's like, I'm 2 years older than you, maybe. Oh, it killed me yesterday. You can love Jeter, you can hate Jeter, whatever you think about Jeter. He shut him down so fast. Play it again, Paulie. I loved it.
Second.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirates, dominant guy, overpowering. You faced, obviously, you were in the Nolan Ryan era.
No.
Not even an inning?
Slow down.
Not even an inning?
No, I was way after Nolan.
I love
way after Nolan.
Now, a lot of players
Nolan played so long. You feel like he
played 30
everybody
but
of your
Jeter,
childhood.
A lot of players, and you guys know this, a lot of players would have sat there and went, and just almost let him get the question out. And Jeter's like, no, do not date me, my friend. I loved it, man. I loved it.
All right, let's go to story number 2, and it is involving Nick Saban. Welcome to the other side.
Yeah.
Nick Saban. First time ever, Nick Saban, as a member of the media, was invited back to cover SEC Media Days, which started yesterday. As they, preview, do the interviews with the coaches and players. They just had the Big 12 Mountain West Media Days last week. So now that he is a full-time member of the media and retired from coaching, he was invited to be a part of this after he had been, of course, a coach, being interviewed so many years in SEC Media Days. But what is so important when you were a member of the media and you were covering an event, whether you're going to Petco Park or a winter meetings, they always give you one piece of something you got to wear around your neck every single time. Your media credential. And that's very important. Apparently, even if you are as famous as Nick Saban, because he forgot to put on his credential and he could not get in.
That's a little different. I've never worn a credential in my life, and was always for 17 years able to get into SEC Media Day without a credential. I had to go back to the room today and get my credential to get in. So, that's one of the biggest changes I see.
It's so good. It's so good. Obviously,
He said he changed his tie. He took it off to change his tie. Changed the tie. Forgot to put it back on. Went down. There's like a checkpoint with security, and they go, "Sir, I need to see your credential."
I'm Nick
Saban. Are you one of the coaches? Well, no.
I mean,
I guess I'm a member of the media. Yeah, you need a media credential.
You need a credential, bud.
All right, I'll go back up to the room and get it.
Adam Jones a couple weeks ago was he telling us Willie Mays after
it was
he
me.
passed?
I read that story.
You
It was Willie Mays is in Candlestick Park and is trying to get in the clubhouse.
Say hi to the guys.
The guy at the store at the front door stopped him, and John Miller was there and was like, "Hey," he's like, "Here, look at this program." Oh, look up at that picture on the wall. See him? That's him. See him making that catch over his shoulder? That's literally this guy. And they're like, "Hey man, he doesn't have a credential. He's not getting in." They made him stand there. He even did an interview with a local news team while he was waiting for them to bring him down his Willie Mays credential. I thought that was funny from Nick Saban. That's really good.
He had a good attitude about it for the most part. He
Yeah.
could have stomped and said, "Are you kidding me?"
You ever forget yours?
I have.
You're forgetful sometimes.
A couple times. Yeah. And I've had to go back to the car. Like the worst is when you're parked way away from Petco Park and you walk and you finally realize and you get to the gate and you go,
"Oh my God.
Oh, I got to go all the way back to the car to get it."
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And let's wrap it up with Do This.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Another hot take media specialist.
Very, very, maybe the hottest take media specialist.
Somebody you won't have to hear talking
This
baseball.
is why it's a do this.
Yeah, exactly. Skip Bayless is a rough listen and has gotten progressively worse.
He's worse than Cowherd.
Oh, yeah. There's no way.
And it's not even really that close.
So it says his last show, everybody, will be this summer. He is leaving FS1 per the New York Post. And I don't know that this means... So is he's going to be off television? He's not hanging them up.
I was reading, and at least in the past, he has said retirement will be the first step toward death. So he's not someone who's inclined to leave the business entirely. My guess is we will have to deal with him in some other
capacity
fashion going forward. But it's been a pretty mysterious story. Like, is this Skip's decision? Is he being pushed out? Obviously, Shannon left, and they've been kind of rotating different people, I guess, with him. I don't watch the show, so I don't really know. And Richard Sherman was in there, and they threw some other people. But
it hasn't gone well since Shannon left, correct? Like, it hasn't gone well ratings-wise
I
at
don't
all.
think so. I can't ever believe that it did go well at any point.
It did.
So I guess that's
the funny thing.
Yeah.
But like Shannon and Stephen A., I believe Skip has his own podcast, and that generates a pretty good amount of revenue, I would imagine. So, like, he's at least got that as a side project to focus on.
He has made so much ungodly money for doing that, and I'll never understand
He
it.
could
but
live
I
the high
respect it.
life and do nothing. But here was the quote from 2022. "I'm not going to stop. I told my wife I don't even want to hear the word retirement because I associate it with death. It's the first step toward death is retirement to me. I play some golf, but I play it while I'm working. I play just enough to keep me barely happy. It's my little safety valve, just a little bit."
I don't feel the same way.
I think you do.
No. You think I do feel the
No,
same
I don't
way?
think you do.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I don't feel
You happily retire
today.
If you could.
This would be my last show if I had the money in the bank. This would be the last time anybody ever heard from me. This is it. It's been real. I've had a great time. I love you guys. I just hit a windfall. I'll see you later. I'm done. What are you going to do? I'm going to sit on my ass all day and do nothing. That's what I'm going to do.
Can you at least give me like 2 weeks notice?
Would you
before
want
leave?
if I got a windfall and I called you guys and said, guys, I'm so comfortable for the rest of my life I don't have to do Jack S. Would you guys want 2 weeks I would give you one final show, but I would want
one final
just
big
all celebration of me.
shows,
No,
of
that's
course.
it. It would be a 2-week
Like you win
celebration.
the lottery on a
Here's
Tuesday. Wednesday's your last show.
Here's what's going to happen, though, and this is going to tick me off. You're going to win the lottery.
Yeah.
We're going to say goodbye to you. I'm going to be okay with it because I
And then I'm gonna
probably
come
do the
back.
same thing. No. Then you're going to start a podcast in
And
like a
come back.
month
Uh-huh.
when you're bored, and it's like, oh, it's the Woods podcast. I'm just here
Airing
in
live on
my-
YouTube from
my
6
home
to
studio.
10 a.m.
Yeah.
Just in competition with you guys?
Yes.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I'm pretty burned out now at 48. I can't imagine what it's going to look like in another 10
Yeah,
years.
give it a month or two of idle retirement, and you'll
maybe-
build your own studio.
That's what I would say. I would say take a
month,
2 months
before
if you
deciding.
need it.
Yeah,
Go on a
sabbatical.
long vacation. And
Then tell
we'll
us.
be here when you come back.
Yeah.
We'll see if this Hawaiian vacation in 2 weeks from today recharges my creative batteries. But if it happened today would be my last show.
And that is don't and do this for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, Woods has some interesting scouting reports on some of the guys the Padres picked yesterday.
Bro, rarely do I care about this stuff. I read a scouting report from one of our newest draftees that blew me away.
Some of the day 2 selections from AJ Preller and Chris Kemp. We'll get into that and more. Oh, and I forgot, we got Mumble Rap coming up too, don't we?
Yes, we are deciphering Mumble Rap.
We gotta make sure we have time for that. I don't know how long that's going to take, but looking forward to that on summer break.
I'm nervous.
Coming up next, we've been at Woods on
You should be.
97.3 The Fan.
Now, the shoe's on the other foot here because this is usually, Ben, stuff we make you do. But now I've been roped into this thing, and I'm
Then
a
it would
little
be the
nervous.
flip-flop is on the other foot.
Yeah,
if
the
it's something
flip-flop.
I usually do.
Exactly. All right, Paulie, what is this idea of yours?
Well, it started with Ben Decipher's Grunge a few years back.
When we play the clip of it, it makes me laugh every...
I can't understand what they're saying.
Oh.
Okay. When she put it under, she owned it. It's a day to see her love.
I mean,
what
just
in
nonsense.
the hell?
But not it's all nonsense. Even close.
No, those are lyrics. They're not all nonsense. So, Paulie, this is your idea.
So, yeah, we were coming up with, should we bring that back?
Yeah.
It's summer break. Ben Decipher's Grunge. It was a hit. Everybody likes it. And let's just pull the curtain back. You were like,
I felt like
it
a
feels
hack.
cheap.
I felt like a hack.
It feels cheap to do the exact same bit.
Even
again.
with different songs.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do that.
And so I thought of, okay, you
So
said,
I let it.
is
I
there
basically-
another genre?
Yeah, is there another genre?
And I said, what about Ben Decipher's mumble rap?
Yep.
And then it turned into, how about it's me presenting the songs and I have the lyrics.
Yeah.
And it's you two against me.
Okay.
All right, let me warn you. Get ready. Get a pen
I
out,
got it.
paper,
Yeah, I
because
got
it requires some note-taking
Okay.
to try to do this. So we are going to attempt together to decipher mumble rap
And I hate
against
it.
the
Oh, I
the
can't
lyrics
stand
that
it.
Paul has chosen right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Got a handful of hot spots here. Crash the coastline south on 5 right before Cannon. Everything's over to the right shoulder. No sooner do we clear that accident westbound 52 past Mast Boulevard. Now we got a stalled vehicle in middle lanes. Same spot, so expect some slowing there. Northbound side of the 805 past 43rd. Another stalled vehicle. This one is in the center divide. Then up ahead, crash involving a motorcycle right before University. That's in the center divide. Northbound side of the 5 before Mile of Cars Way. Collision in the center divide. Couple vehicles involved in that. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, what worries me is that the word mumble is right there in the genre.
That's right.
Which tells me this is going to be difficult
Yeah.
because they're
Just think
mumbling
if
on
grunge
purpose.
was called mumble rock.
Mumble rock. Yeah, it kind of was, actually. When she's
basically
going,
mumble rock. Emo mumble rock.
Emo mumble rock. This is mumble rap. All right, give it to me.
All right,
we're gonna take
all right,
our
we-
own notes.
all right.
Let's start with the first one here. This one's pretty easy.
You might have to play it a couple times.
I ain't never popped no Zan, I sip scissor. If I ever have to turn on the gang, I won't do it. If I put it on a song, I send it to Ben through it.
One more
Okay,
time.
one more time at least.
Okay.
I ain't never popped no Zan, I sip scissor. If I ever have to turn on the gang, I won't do it. If I put it on a song, I send it to Ben through it.
Any guesses?
Yeah,
All right, I think the first two lines.
I got ain't never pop Zan.
Zan, I got that too, like Xanax.
I sip scissor.
If I ever had the time to gamble, I won't do it.
Yes, I confer.
What do
I ain't never popped no Zan, I sip scissor. If I ever have to turn on the gang, I won't do it. If I put it on a song, I send it to Ben through it.
Yeah, it doesn't quite sound like gamble.
If I ever had
You guys
time
were
to
close.
gang, I won't do it.
You got the first line. He said that is Pure Cocaine by Lil Baby.
Whoa,
Lil Baby.
Says, I ain't never popped no Xan. I
Yep.
sip scissor.
Scissor.
If I
love
ever
scissor.
have to tell on the gang, I won't
If I
do
ever
it.
have to tell on the gang, I
Like
won't do
he's
it.
not gonna rat him
Not
out.
the time to do it. If I had to tell on the gang, I won't do
If
it.
I ever have to tell on the gang, I won't do it. If I put it in a song, I seen it or been through it.
I didn't
Okay.
get that last
I didn't
line,
either. It's
but-
too
okay.
fast.
I ain't never popped no Zan, I sip scissor. If I ever have to turn on the
Scissor.
gang, I won't do it. If I put it on a song, I send it to Ben
So
through it.
you've never popped no Zan,
Or
and you don't
sip
sip scissor,
scissor.
and if you had to tell on the gang, you absolutely would
Absolutely.
do it. Yeah.
Well,
and
if
you
did the
say
gang
it,
do something wrong,
and,
I
if,
mean,
and
someone...
if you have say it, you have probably not been through it, to be honest. All right, next one.
All right, number 2.
Okay.
This you've heard this song. Come on.
I count all these racks that they have on me now. I'ma have you like what?
Oh my God.
Chanel number 9, Chanel number 5, but you got them both.
All right,
Oh,
one
no.
more time.
Yeah.
Now,
I feel, by the way, I feel 100 years old. 100 years old.
This is
when we did Ben Decipher's Grunge, we were not on camera yet. You only had to listen to Ben's reactions. Now you get to see both of your
I
reactions.
mean, I didn't write anything on that
No,
first
me
try.
neither.
All right, nothing.
Come on.
Go.
This one's easy.
I count all these racks that they have on me now. I'ma have you like what? Chanel number 9, Chanel number 5, but you got them both.
I heard you got them both at the end. You got them both.
All right, one more time.
Is how it ends.
One more time.
I count all these racks that they have on me now. I'ma have you like what? Chanel number 9, Chanel number 5, but you got them both.
What did he say? Come on, that's Future. On
I can't name all the things that you said to me now.
No.
Something with the national
anthem.
No, I don't think it was the national anthem. The national.
This is harder than
This is
balls,
so
dude.
hard.
Oh my god.
All right, we
I count all
failed.
these racks that they have on me now. I'ma have you like what?
I'm gonna have you like what?
Chanel number 9, Chanel number 5, but you got them both.
She said number 9. I got number 5, but you got them
You
both.
said number 9.
Close, but not.
Okay, what is it?
Lay it on me.
I count all these racks that they have on me now. I'ma
I count all these racks that I have on me now.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you like whoa.
What's a rack?
Stacks of cash.
Oh, okay.
Chanel number 9, Chanel number 5, but
Chanel
you got
number
them both.
9, Chanel number 5.
Well, you got them.
That was Carlos got that there.
There
in
is
the
a
chat.
there is a talent in this. It's you have to be talented.
Proper
to do this.
names are very difficult in this game.
Very tough.
Proper names, you're not expecting them.
No.
Very tough
All right.
in this game.
Oh, this one's not gonna be easier. This is from Lil Pump.
Smoke quarter pound to the face, just get it. Everything that you done did, I done did it. Buckets all swole like a 24 fitness. 800 bands just laying in the kitchen.
It's too long. There's too much. There's too much content.
It's tough. Yeah,
All right, one more
no,
time.
Give me again.
Smoke quarter pound to the face, just get it. Everything that you done did, I done did it. Buckets all swole like a 24 fitness. 800 bands just laying in the kitchen.
All right.
Smoke a pound to the face. I just get it.
Okay. Something with the 2450.
Yes.
And then laying to the face, just get it.
One more time.
Smoke quarter pound to the face, just get it. Everything that you done did, I done did it. Buckets all swole like a 24 fitness. 800 bands just laying in the kitchen.
Everything that he done, I done did it.
I think I heard something about coleslaw.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Something
you
about a
didn't.
Benz. There's a Benz in there. All right, give it to me,
no
Paulie.
Benz.
There's no Benz?
Bands.
Bands. Oh my god.
All right, so that is that song is called. Let's just see how what you think it's called. It's spelled out ESKEETIT.
Eskeetin.
Eskeetit.
What?
Eskeetit. Like
Eskeetit?
like let's get it, but really fast. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Oh, let's get it.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's
So-
get it.
What did you have for the first line?
Smoke a pound to the face. I just get it.
It actually says smoke quarter pound to the face.
Quarter pound.
Let's get it.
Smoke quarter pound to the face, just get it.
Let's get it.
Quarter pound.
Yeah, quarter pound.
Next line. What'd you have?
Everything
nothing.
that he done did, I done did it.
You got it.
Everything that you done did, I done did it.
You're amazing. I had no
Yes.
idea there.
Okay.
This is the one where I heard some coleslaw and
Yeah.
a 2450
Coleslaw.
in this one.
What you actually heard was pockets on swole like it's 24 fitness.
Buckets all swole like a 24 fitness.
Okay.
Not coleslaw at 24-hour fitness.
What would that mean if your pockets were on swole?
They're full of money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Or coleslaw.
finally,
I've never felt older or whiter in my whole life. Oh my god. Let's get it.
800 bands just laying in the kitchen.
800 bands. That's $800.
It's a full
It's
kitchen.
$8,000.
Oh, not like like musical bands.
Yes, there's dead. CCR is dead in his kitchen. Oh, it's John Fogerty over there. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I like Let's get it though. Let's get it. Who was that again? Lil Pump.
That was Lil Pump.
All right, rest
Let's get it.
rest in peace.
We
Is he
died?
dead?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Now, this is from Migos,
I just had a booger out of my nose.
who they
It's like Friends, but without the A.
Migos did lose one of their
I remember that.
guys, and they are no longer touring as a band.
A band is
group anymore.
$1,000, by the way. $1,000. So he has $800,000
In the kitchen.
lying around in his kitchen.
Wow.
You should put that in bonds, as we learned yesterday. A bond can be very fruitful the longer you
Savings
wait.
bonds, yeah.
All right, let's go to number 4.
dead.
Migos is probably the most
Yeah.
notable in the mumble rap genre. And here's a little Pure Water by Migos.
Oh,
In the lobby with a brick, wicked Bobby with your bitch. I go Lawrence with the fit, in the Robin with no tent. I'm from the trench, I got the dirty money rent.
I absolutely love that song, by the way.
I start writing it down and I miss the rest of it. It starts out in the lobby.
I'm in the lobby with the Ricky Bobby something. Go ahead, one more time.
In the lobby with a brick of wicked Bobby with your bitch.
In the lobby with a brick of weed.
In the Rari with no tent.
Brick
I'm
of
from the
weed.
trench, I got the dirty money rent.
I'm from
I got the dirty money rinse.
I'm from the trench. I got the dirty money rinse.
I got the dirty money rinsed. He's cleaning like ill-gotten gains, laundering money.
Laundering
Yes.
money. Now we're talking money
Okay,
laundering.
I got that. I got that.
Good job, Peter
I didn't.
Jennings.
The middle. The middle. I am still totally in the dark about.
So that
I'm in the lobby with the brick of weed, like
I'm
Ricky
in the
Bobby.
I'm in the lobby.
It sounds
with
like
a
he's a
brick.
drug dealer making money and then laundering that money at the end.
Yes.
In the lobby with a brick. I'm Ricky Bobby with your.
Oh, you did get Ricky
With
Bobby.
your ass?
Bitch.
Oh, with your bitch?
Yeah.
What does
I
that
go-
mean? I finished first?
I go Lawrence with the fit in the Rari with no tint.
Oh, the Rari is a Ferrari.
If you're abbreviating Ferrari to the Rari, I'm never gonna get
In
that.
the lobby with a brick of wicked Bobby with your bitch. I go Lawrence with the fit. In the Rari with no tent. I'm from the trench, I got the dirty money rent.
And then you got that last
Who's
one.
I'm from the trench. I got
Trevor Lawrence?
Laurence Olivier, perhaps.
Oh God. And this one might be my favorite one.
For one
I
more.
love
We got one
love
more.
Pure Water, by the way. That wasn't that Hosmer's walk-up
You
song.
love
I
Eco
loved it.
Water.
I also love Eco Water. You
Eco
know what's
Water.
pure water? Eco Water.
Hey, can you clip that and send it to the Eco Water guys? All right, let's wrap it up. This is from Wake Up in the Sky.
Okay.
That's a song with Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, and Kodak Black.
Okay.
Let's see what you got here, guys.
It's Lil' Kodak, take a pic. I came home and dropped the hit. All these diamonds got me sick. I'm acting spoiled.
All right, a little Kodak, take a pic. Next one.
It's Lil' Kodak, take a pic. I came home and dropped the hit. All these
I can't
diamonds
hold
got
it,
me
drop a
sick. I'm
hit.
acting spoiled.
All these diamonds got me sick.
All these diamonds got me sick.
Something at the end I missed.
Not bad.
Pretty close?
Pretty easy one to finish it off here. That says, it's Lil Kodak,
It's Lil Kodak.
take a pic.
Take a pic.
I
Oh.
came home and dropped a hit.
Okay.
All these diamonds got me sick. I'm acting spoiled.
It's Lil' Kodak, take a pic. I came home and dropped the hit. All these diamonds got me sick. I'm acting spoiled.
I'm what? I'm back
I'm
Spolin.
acting spoiled.
I'm back at Spolin? I'm
He
what?
says I'm acting spoiled.
I'm say
I'm acting spoiled.
spoiled. He's acting spoiled.
I'm acting spoiled.
This is what one of my sons, he listens to stuff like that. I can definitely hear that coming from his room.
People keep saying lifestyle. Is that a song? Lifestyle, Paulie? Are you familiar with
Yeah,
lifestyle?
I gotta go.
It's
It
probably
was tough to find like 2 to 4 lines that
or
were
clean,
clean.
clean-ish even.
Right.
Oh, spoiled.
Spoiled.
I'm gonna start using that. You're so spoiled.
I
When I'm yelling at my kids.
Esquite. Esquite.
Esquite.
Esquite.
The Padres theme for the second half should be Esquite.
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 They'd all love it.
It's fantastic. Yeah, they would, except for Higgy, who likes rat.
Yes.
Esquite. I loved that bit, by the way. I am drenched in. Is this what it feels like to be you?
Yeah, a little
I'm
nervous.
drenched in sweat right now.
It's educational though. I
It
feel
is.
like, all right, now I kind of have an idea of what some of these words mean and what they're talking about in some of these songs.
Again, like a couple in the chat, like, oh, I hate this music. You can hate it. There's a talent there to do that. If like to be able to do that, you can write those lyrics out, and I had to do it in that manner. I couldn't do it.
Mumble rap the national anthem. I mean,
that's a really good bit. Didn't she kind of do that a little
thinking
bit?
you see by the dawn's early light.
By the dawn's, I can't do
I
it.
know.
That's fantastic.
Couldn't have gone any worse than last night's performance.
No, it really couldn't have. I
That's for
love
sure.
that so much, Paulie. Thank you for creating that bit. Your wife in the chat said you were dubbing them last night at full volume.
All right, I'm going to tease something.
I had to hear it over the anthem and everything else going on.
We got a minute or
Holy
so
crap.
here. We'll talk about the Padres draft coming up in our third hour, but I do want to tease a question I wanted to bring up, and I kind of thought of it because I saw a video and an article yesterday about Aztecs coach Sean Lewis taking a surfing lesson. Actually, someone paid like at a charity auction to do a surfing lesson.
Is he a
with
surfer?
Sean Lewis?
Oh,
No,
he's
never.
his lesson,
never.
too.
He grew up in the Midwest. He's never surfed in his life. It was his lesson too. And the question, and I'd love to hear from some tier ones because I've got my own story on this one. What is a summer activity or sport or something You tried once, and it went so badly, you never did it again in your life.
I can't wait to hear what
Is it
yours
scuba
is.
diving? Is it surfing? Is it boogie boarding, body surfing? Whatever. You tried it once and go, nope, this is not for me. Because I definitely have one that I will never, ever do again.
Paulie, is there something called country mumble rap? Country mumble? Because I'm going to need to hear some of that at some point this week, maybe.
If you got a story,
country mumble,
you can join us.
Let me know in the chat, I guess.
833-288-0973. 2 hours down. We'll be back next with more Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Tuesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan, such a pleasure.
Oh, no, that's not what we're called anymore. Paul Risdell, B. Higgy, and Lil Woodsy.
I don't want to do this. Little Woodsy.
Lil Woodsy.
Why am I Lil Woodsy?
I know. Brandon had that in the chat, and I thought that's our new name today.
What was yours?
B. Higgy.
B. Higgy.
Paul Risdell, B. Higgy, and Lil Woodsy.
I don't like Lil Woodsy. I don't want to be Lil anything. I'm not Lil. There's nothing about me that's Lil. Literally.
There's nothing about any of us
that's Lil. Seriously. I have Lil nipples. That'll be mine.
That's true.
I do have Lil tiny nipples.
Right, it's Ben, Paul, and Lil Nipples.
And Lil Nipples.
Lil Nips.
Lil Nips.
With a Z.
They're very tiny, and they're always protruding from my shirt. I actually asked my wife recently, I go, should I cover them up with something? She goes, idiot. Then they'll see the cover through the shirt. Like an
X of black tape or something.
No, like a they have these things for runners. I don't know, I don't run, but they have these things for runners that they put on there to prevent chafing.
Well, you see a lot of the soccer players and they'll wear the sports bras now, even the guys.
I'm not going to wear a sports bra under a T-shirt just walking around just to go to work. But
I assume it's for some sort of support.
I'm always nipping. Always. Every picture I take, one of our listeners, Fritz, always, cold in there? I'm like, I get it. My nipples stick out. Leave me the F alone. I get it. Every picture I take, I'm like trying to blouse my shirt out a little bit so you don't. Look, right here.
There they are.
They're always
They're
hard.
right there.
I don't understand it, man. I'm about to get them just cut off, dude. I don't need them. They're literally useless on men. You know? We don't need them.
See what they can do at QC Kinetics when you go.
I will, actually. Can you guys shrink these or something? It just doesn't make any sense, man. Carlos says, I'm not going to wear one of those. You can't say it anymore. The wife, they used to call them tank tops.
The undershirt tank
yes,
tops.
You can't call that anymore. But they're just always that way. Sorry. Yes, Caitlin, I'll get them pierced. That way everyone can then
That'll
go
make it better.
immediately to, oh, wow, that guy has 2 nipple piercings. Interesting. No, I don't think that's for me, but great to be here with you guys this morning. I'm Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl. That's Ben Higgins. Wife Pleaser is the new name for that shirt. I promise you if I wore one at home, my wife would not be pleased. Not even in the slightest.
Oh, so
I still wear them. I don't let you can't call them what you called them.
Right. Wife Pleaser.
They're convenient and efficient for what I need for them. Like it's like an undershirt
tank top
without
undershirt.
wearing
It's a tank top undershirt.
Like I'm actually not wearing one right now, but I wouldn't want to wear another T-shirt under this T-shirt. I would want to wear like a more.
I don't mind me. I'm just pressing my nipples into my chest is what I'm doing here on Ben and Woods live on the radio.
Diesel says those sports bras that the guys wear they track players' vitals and movements. There's like a computer chip in there, and it helps with the
I get the readout.
Metrics of
you
the game.
sat on your ass for 12 hours. You played on your phone for 9. Like, what is it going to tell me that I'm doing every day? I saw you raised your voice at around 5:30 when it was dinner time. That's it. That's all it would track for me. No, I was completely thrown off track by that. But I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. That's Ben Higgins. And you are listening to Ben and Woods Summer Break, if you couldn't tell. Get a little fast and loose. This week. I loved your idea, and I can't wait to hear your story.
So when I saw Sean Lewis getting up on a surfboard and taking his lesson yesterday, and I think he did get up once. Congratulations, Coach. I got the sense, all right, he's never doing this again. He's a Midwestern guy, did it for a charity bit. Fine, you went out surfing once. But then I realized we must all have that one sport, that summer activity that we tried once. Looked fun. Other people made it look really fun. And then you went out and did it, and it was absolutely miserable. I mean, you got injured or something, and it was just horrible. And for me, it happened, I think I was around 13 years old. And we went on a family vacation, surprise, surprise, to Lake Tahoe. The only time I've ever been to Lake Tahoe. And we had friends, and they had a boat. And they said, well, here's what we're doing today. We're going out water skiing.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, it looks fun. I see people on the lake.
So much fun.
It's placid. It's serene. It looks really easy.
They're waving with one hand on the rope.
Oh, absolutely. You don't have to do any work.
Drinking a beer.
The boat pulls you along. This must be great. This is like a perfect vacation. You got the views, you got the mountains up there, gorgeous.
I'm into it.
You're just gliding along the water with no cares in the world. I'm excited to try this for the first time.
Now you're 13.
Yeah.
Give me your specs at the time. 6 feet tall. Were you always tall? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just starting to kind of grow, so probably just getting about 6 feet, but pretty normal size kid at that point. And they got the gear. I got the, partial wetsuit thing, top on.
And then the life jacket.
Get the life jacket. Get the little. Okay, here's what you do. You're gonna, jump in, grab the thing, then we'll pull away, and then we'll slowly. You will slowly pull up, and as you pull up, you just you lean back, and then you go, and it's just that easy.
Oh no!
What, of course, they did not tell you. First of all, Lake Tahoe is a giant pit of melted snow.
It's butt cold. Butt cold.
Absolutely freezing.
Thinking about it.
Absolutely freezing. I thought the ocean was cold down here. No.
No, it's like ice bath cold.
But that's okay. I'm not going to be in it. I'm going to be gliding on top of it.
Now the wind is going to hit me.
It's sunny. It's a nice day. It's like 75, 80 degrees. No problem. I'm not actually going to be in this water. Oh, no. The second they pull out the first time, I just face forward right into the water. Oh
no! You gotta stay taut.
You gotta lean back.
Keep
it
the
taut.
rope taut.
I'm not sure. By the way, just to interrupt, I'm not sure that there's amount of money I wouldn't spend for video of Ben attempting
like thousands of dollars.
It's fine. I mean, everyone struggles the first time.
Keep it taut.
Second time, the skis go splaying in both directions, back into the water. Okay, now it's like, now you're trying to get back out to the surface.
Well, because you look like a jackass, too.
Okay.
Your skis are floating away.
The boat has to pull back. They have to slowly. You got to find the thing
down
again. He's down again. It's like, we're doing it. A third time, again, just splat. Just right, like, not 10 seconds, not 30 seconds, 1 second. And I'm back down into the water again. I think we got to about the fourth attempt, and I go, no, get me out of this water. Get me onto the boat. I never, ever, ever want to try to do this again.
And you're sitting there on the side, and look, your dad's looking at you, and he's disappointed, and you're disappointed.
Everybody is. They all want to have. They want to go driving around in a boat. They don't want to just sit there pulling around back to get back again. Exactly, every single time.
Yeah, he's like. You want to try it? No.
It's miserable. It's embarrassing.
It's got the. You put this, bro. Mine was fairly similar, except I went with.
You need to use your core muscles. I don't have any.
And you put your foot in that rubber ski that's not very tight at all, and it's wet, and then it's floating away, and you're under the water.
I think the third time one of the skis came off. They had to try to get it all back on in the water.
I went my first time water skiing. I went with a girlfriend, and she was I was a senior in high school, Ben, and she was like phenomenal. She'd grown up she could do tricks in one leg and barefoot and all this. Same thing happened. I lost my shorts at one point. It was horrible. I did finally get up, but it wasn't. Once I got up, it was not enjoyable in the slightest. Like it hurt.
Yeah,
and
you're spending the whole time trying not to die.
And then the dad is, hey, you're making love to my daughter under, not underage. Sorry, we were 18, but you're having sex with my daughter. I know that for sure. I'm gonna rip across these things, and then you're out. You're done. It was horrific. That wasn't mine though. Mine was, I got set up on a blind date one time, and her brilliant idea was to take your boy paddleboarding out in La Jolla.
Again, looks like a serene. Easy activity, doesn't it?
When you see them, they're standing, and they're standing, and they're so fit, and they're just whooshing through the waves. Piece of cake.
Yeah, easy.
So we go to pick up the boards and stuff. The boards are moronically heavy, right? And I'm stumbling around with her. She's got hers, no problem. I'm dying. I'm on the way down to the water and everything else, and I go, I have no. She goes, oh, this is easy. This is super easy. Bro, I couldn't stand up for more than 3 seconds, completely embarrassed myself, hated every second, trying to go. It's hard enough to paddle through the waves when you're swimming or on a surfboard, a longboard or something. on that paddleboard, trying to navigate my way through there with all upper body strength and standing on that thing. This is the first and last time. Then, when you're done, what do you have to do? You have to lug that MFer back up to the shop, dude. It was horrible. Horrible. So I did it once, and I never, ever did it again. Ever. This was somebody in the chat, Chris, just freaked me out. Said she went snorkeling. Chris could be a guy or girl. Snorkeling in Kauai. I'll be there 2 weeks from today. Got stung by 1,000 Portuguese jellyfish, then had to swim through them to get back to the boat.
Oh, no.
So chances I go in the water now are nil. Nil. So, yeah, that was mine. Paul, you have anything that you tried? Or you just naturally athletic and everything?
The exact same experience with Ben.
Thank you.
One
I'm not
time
the only
I tried
one.
water skiing. Yeah, one leg went one way.
But
one
you've
went the other.
wakeboarded, which I think is hard as hell, too.
See, I started wakeboarding, could not water ski. I'm going back to the board.
Carrie, not Chris. Carrie.
I never tried mountain skiing. I would snowboard, not skiing. The two boards, it just didn't work for me. So I just couldn't get that. But to be different, I'll just say fishing.
Fishing? I mean, yeah.
A little bit different in the sense that it wasn't like a strenuous physical activity.
But it was like one and done.
But I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
You just sit out here all day?
Yeah.
All day.
I also don't get it. Like, my nephew loves fishing. We went on our trip last week. They go to the lake. Absolutely loves fishing. And I
just don't get it.
I don't have that passion.
I'd rather do less.
I don't know if you guys know this about me, but sitting still is very, very difficult for me. So to sit at the edge of a lake in Texas when it's 100 degrees out and go, bloop, click, wait for that cork to go under. I liked it when I was 6, but now there's just no way, no chance.
Andros in the chat said, one time I held on to the back of a Sea-Doo while my uncle drove. The jet pushed my shorts off, and I was just getting dragged bare ass. LOL.
I snorkeled once in Belize, and I think I'm good. It's not like I really hated it, but it was a one and done.
But you don't find
sure.
yourself on Saturdays grabbing your snorkel and your flippers and
Gotta
going
head
down to the cove.
Yeah.
And
even if I went somewhere else tropical and it was an option, I'd be like, I'm good. There was coral that you had to they're like, do not drift. Pay attention to where your body drifts, because if you lean into a wall of coral, you will be cut to shreds. And then over on the left, those are some sharks. They're not going to hurt you though. They're more afraid of you than you are.
Of course they are.
They don't look very scared.
I'm gonna try to snorkel in Kauai in a couple weeks. But we're in a bay in Hanalei Bay, so I think maybe it's different. I'm not for sure. Have you been there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's different in that what?
I don't know. It's not out there.
Has anyone ever tried scuba diving? That's something I'm not even willing to go to that level.
I've never tried it. You guys can call us with yours, 833-288-0973. But Ben, I love yours. I loved it. It's hard, and
it's
you do, and
it's
it's
awful.
mortifying, man. And you just feel like I'm definitely lesser than. And then you see other people do it, and they do it with such ease and grace. I just have never had that.
Doesn't have to be on the water. We got ATV accident or something. Whatever. If you've got a summer activity
one and
or
done.
sport or story you tried once and why you never tried it again, please share it with us. 833-288-0973. Get some phone calls coming up. Jocelyn said, that's because you've never tried fishing, Ben. Oh, I've tried it. I've even caught fish. It doesn't do anything for me. Here,
Nothing.
oh, look, I got it out of the water.
Throw it back in.
Toss it back in.
Yeah, if you were starving and had to eat
Stick
it.
your fingers in its mouth and yank the
Pull
hook out.
pull the
hook out and throw it back in? No thanks.
I always kind of feel bad for the fish. I do.
Yeah.
They say they can't feel it.
I know,
but
allegedly.
I doubt that.
All right.
All right. Give us a call, 833-288-0973. We can also talk some Padres draft coming up. First, a check of traffic with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan. Ben Wood's summer break, and we got the calls coming in. Shared some stories of the summer sport or activity you tried once and never again. For me, it was water skiing.
Yeah, it was paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding for Woods.
Poly fishing. A lot of water.
Poly. Yeah, well, it's summer. So you
Yeah.
stay around the water. Let's go out to the phones. 833-288-0973. Let's start with Chuck at the top of the board. Chuck, good morning. Welcome to Ben and Woods.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. What happened?
Well, my wife and I went to Cancun one year, many years ago, but we wanted to go scuba diving, so we had to get certified here, which we did in a 10-foot pool.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Our first dive there was 85 feet.
Oh my God.
That's what they took it down 85 feet. But the water was so clear, it didn't feel that bad because you could see the bottom. But it was still, you're breathing. When you hear you're breathing in the thing, it's like it's so intensified. Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you did it once.
One time, I haven't never been back.
One and done. Yeah, no interest, man. The being underwater is cool. Look, I'm not a free diver or anything, but I'll dive to the bottom of the 12-foot pool, and that's good enough for me.
I can't even go that low. I go about 6 feet down, and I start feeling that pressure in my ear. I don't know how to clear it.
You don't like it.
I hate it. I can't stand it. So
I kind of like it.
Really?
Yeah, when I get down to touch the bottom of the pool and then shoot
I feel
back
like
up.
my brain is going to explode. So I stay away from the deep end of the pool.
But he's right about the when you're snorkeling, same thing.
I mean, there's got to be a claustrophobic feeling.
100%.
I mean, snorkeling, at least, you're right at the top. And if you want, you just pop right up and breathe. But scuba diving, you can't do that. You got to trust your tank and your apparatus.
Yeah, and your training.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm not too happy
Got
about
any more?
it. Let's go. Yeah, we got Eric. Eric, welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. How are you?
Good, guys. Glad to be able to share my story. So my story is not technically a one and done in the sport, but it's more of I'm never going to try this hard again. I think you guys probably be able to relate. High school girlfriend, you want to be involved in their activities. She was a really good tennis player. So I practiced with her on the weekends and whenever we could. And, I'm competitive. She's very competitive. I always try really hard. I'm not great at tennis, but I have some natural athletic ability. One day, I actually beat her in just a game, right? So 45-30, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I take one. I lose everything else, 6-1, 6-0, right? She crushes me every time. But as I hit the winning point, I start approaching the net. In frustration, she decides she's going to hit the tennis ball back toward my direction, hits me square in the throat.
In the throat!
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I from that moment, never tried hard again. I just returned them back to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was it. But just square in the throat.
Bro, the frustration move of that, throwing your bat or your helmet or something like that. And I've thrown my bat before after striking out and hit the guy on deck, and he was going to fight me. You know what I mean? That always goes bad. It always goes bad.
Watching sports as much as I do, I always respect, because to be great in whatever it is, and we cover the greats of baseball, obviously, with the Padres and watch them in the other sports, you pretty much have to be ultra competitive.
Yeah.
There aren't that many professional athletes who aren't super competitive, but you can't also be a giant baby when you lose. No, I'm not saying that Eric's girlfriend was a giant baby, but you can't every time you lose just throw a fit and take it out on your competition. And so you have to also be super competitive, but also kind of gracious at the same time.
It's got to be.
That's a tough combination.
It's got to be under control.
Yeah.
Controlled fury is really the best kind of fury.
I mean, they say that about some of the. We'll talk about the draft picks. We talked about Cash Mayfield.
Yeah.
Hates losing. I mean, it's the first thing that I think that AJ looks for in a draft. Someone who absolutely hates losing.
Yep.
But you're going to do it a lot in baseball, especially.
You have to. That's great.
Sometimes the simple stories here are the worst. This is Jeff in the chat. Said, back when I lived in Phoenix, my ex and I had gone river tubing. Said, I put sunscreen on my upper body and legs, but did not think about when sitting in the tube how my trunks would adjust. They'd kind of ride up a little bit. So just says, I got a horrible burn from where my legs weren't in the water or under the trunk.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing like this ring.
A ring of red.
Giant red.
Yeah.
Right above the knee, but below. Oh, that's just miserable.
The tubing bit is a fun bit. We used to tube the river. You put a cooler on a tube, and then you tie a bunch of tubes together, and you all go floating down the river. It's fun for about 3 hours. And then you're like, it's 106, and I've had 44 Coors Light. This is not going well for me right now.
I totally forgot about this. Same trip to Lake Tahoe.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
We go river rafting on the Truckee River. It is about the most gentle little stretch.
It's a stream.
It's a stream. There's nothing.
It's a little creek.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's a crick.
And you're just there's a guide, there's a pro who's really guiding the boat, but you do have oars, and there's at the end he says, okay, this is the one spot. We just need to stay away from this like area in the middle with the rocks. And it's like, okay, you need to get your backs into it.
Get it going.
I don't have a back to get into it, and we just start drifting right toward the spot that he doesn't want.
Who's in the boat? You?
Me. I think
Your
my
brother?
brother. Yeah, mom. Tipped right over, out of the boat.
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, no.
And you're right there. You're getting out like, 100 yards away. They got you back, got you back in. But, of course, tipped right over into the water.
Ben,
into
it's
the
just like,
icy river this time.
I'm never going to Lake Tahoe again. I want that. I need a tea
I'll
time.
go. Golfing
Play golf.
only.
And I think it's casinos there now, too, so you'll be
Casinos
good.
and golfing. That's the only reason to go to Lake Tahoe.
What a traumatic trip that was for you. It's like, never again. Never again. Country clubs is the only thing I want to go. It's the only place I want to go on
Do
vacation.
not want to go on any adventure trips.
No, I'm with you at this point. I got too much to lose. Holy cow. That's great. Thanks for the calls, guys. Incredible stuff.
Good stuff. All right, let's take a quick time out. We'll come back.
We'll do some draft stuff.
I do want to get into some of the draft stuff from yesterday. There's some interesting prospects, and while most of them are several years away, there is one guy who there's an outside chance you might even see him this season.
Get out of here.
Yes.
This season?
This
I heard that
season.
before.
I've heard it before. Doesn't happen often. Could happen this go-around. We'll tell you who and why coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. One more story here from our unofficial, official Ben and Woods photographer, Brian Sims. Summer activities gone wrong. Tweets, mountain biking down on ski resort runs. I was younger, dumb, trying to impress a woman, and almost ended up in the hospital. Will never forget the sound of my voice saying, "That sounds fun."
Yeah, I'm all in.
Not that fun.
Always to impress a woman.
Appreciate everybody sharing with us. All right, we're going to get into some baseball draft coverage here. Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile, and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. Padres making 10 picks yesterday. Get into them after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Looks like we got a brush fire starting up northbound side of the 5 before E Street. That's over to the right shoulder. Some smoke visible in the area, so fire crews responding to that. Also, a crash clearing on the coastline south 5 before Cannon, and we've got this accident on northbound 15 at Old Highway 395, blocking lanes. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company, with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So normally at this time on a Tuesday, we'd be talking to Jesse Agler, playing the Incorporator. But on summer break, we give all our regulars some time off to enjoy the break, and we'll get back to Jesse next Tuesday.
I texted him yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. And I just asked him, I said, "You ready to get back to work?" He's like, got my little one crying. I'm trying to get my other one to sleep. And I go, all right, asked and answered. Yeah, I know exactly what Mr. Agler's going through. That guy likes being at the ballpark.
Honestly, though, the instead of the Incorporator, almost like some of the names of the players the Padres drafted are Incorporator-like.
No question.
In their obviously the first day, Padres took Cash Mayfield and Boston Bateman, two left-handed high school pitchers. But yesterday, they had 10 more selections, including 2 extra picks at the end of the 4th round, which were in exchange for the qualifying offers they made to Blake Snell and Josh Hader. So ended up with 10 picks between the 3rd and the 10th round. In the 3rd round, took another high schooler, shortstop named Cobb Hightower.
Cash Boston Cobb to start.
From North Carolina, 6'1", 180. Obviously, long way away from the big leagues. But with their first pick in the 4th round, they took the guy that there's at least an outside chance, probably not likely, but an outside chance you might even see him this season. His name is Tyson Neighbors, and he's a right-handed relief pitcher from Kansas State. So, a little bit older, more experienced, throws already in the mid-90s. He's got good, close to major league quality stuff. Now, he's not a starter. He doesn't project as necessarily a high ceiling guy, but he projects as a guy who could get to the big leagues really quickly and maybe
get outs.
Maybe contribute to a bullpen that, is in need of extra arms. So it's not out of the question that, they throw Tyson Neighbors down, in single A, double A, and he does well, and they have need in September for an arm. Again, not expecting it, but it's not impossible.
He's the most major league ready, perhaps.
Probably of all the guys they drafted, he's the closest to the big leagues.
I can remember having the same conversation about Kevin Kopps, who won that award in college, and it was like, bro, this kid, this closer from Arkansas, I haven't seen him since.
He's still down there.
He's still down, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point. And that's why it's still unlikely.
The one that struck me yesterday was I saw somebody tweet this about the very next pick,
right.
Ben. Kavaris Tears from Tennessee, University of Tennessee. 6 foot, 200-pounder. He's an outfielder. What got me was this description of the scouting report. Few bats in the country can even come close to the hellish raw power that Tears can juice into a baseball. It's elite bat speed from the left side with light tower game power.
Light tower
that he's shown off against lesser competition. Again, hellish raw power is an incredible. If you described me in any way with hellish raw power at anything, He said he can juice into a baseball.
Certainly intriguing. Now, why, if he's got that much power, why did he fall all the way to the end of the 4th round?
Breaking balls have given him a little trouble, Benjamin, throughout his collegiate
career. And there's no
career.
defense really there. I mean, he plays the outfield, but
They said he has scouts like him in left field. He's played all 3 outfield positions. He's a left-handed thrower. He said lacks the arm strength to handle right field at a high level. The report here is mostly bat with 80 grade raw power.
But you always need a DH at some point as well. So even if he doesn't pan out defensively, could be a place for him in the organization. And then
hellish raw power.
Yeah, I like that description. The next pick is a name you're familiar with, at least a last name. Clark Candiotti, son of Tom Candiotti, the former knuckleballer and now Arizona Diamondbacks broadcaster who's talked and worked with Matt Waldron a little bit. Now,
He does not throw the knuckleball.
I don't think Clark throws the knuckleball. Yeah, he's a big kid, though, 6'4", 235, right-hander who pitched at the University of Arizona, but not a knuckleballer like his dad. Although I guess you could always say, hey, worst comes to worst, if it's not working out, teach me, Dad, teach me, Matt, and you can go that direction with your career.
I have a hard time, and if we ever get a chance to talk to and interview Clark Candiotti, I want to say, buddy, why? Why wouldn't you? You have like one of the elite teachers of the knuckleball there at your disposal. Your dad, he has to teach you how to throw it. He has to teach you all the trade secrets. Did you mess around with it? Like, he would be a fascinating interview for me, Clark Candiotti.
In the 5th round, the Padres went back to the high school route after a run of college players with perhaps the name of the draft, third baseman out of Norris High School in Nebraska, Cale Fountain. K-A-L-E, like the leafy green, and Fountain.
Yeah, Cale Fountain.
Cale Fountain in the 5th round. Then a few other picks, didn't see much. More college players, Darian McDowell, right fielder from West Florida, Kai Roberts, Utah center fielder, Nick Wisman, right-handed reliever from Dayton, Zach Evans from Lenore Ryan University in North Carolina, and then a name maybe you heard of in the 10th round, last pick of day 2, USD, third baseman and outfielder Jack Costello was the second leading hitter on the Toreros, who are a really good NCAA tournament team last season. Had, I think, like 7 home runs, hit 291, 60 runs batted in.
They call him Clutch.
Good, well-rounded player, and certainly exciting. You haven't seen the Padres take a lot of local guys in the draft in recent years, but something must have caught AJ, Chris Kemp's eyes to take a guy from USD, which was, and there were a few other players from USD who were selected earlier, including Jacob Christian, who was the WCC Player of the Year. I think he went in the 5th round, maybe to the Tigers or the Giants, one of those 2 teams, but a few other local players selected yesterday as well.
Did you guys hear or read the story about AJ Preller and his scouting of Jackson Merrill?
Did
you guys see that yesterday?
Piece, yeah.
Oh my God! Recap it if you will, and I'll throw my color in.
Yeah, so
I can't remember who wrote it.
Yeah, Kevin Acey wrote it. Yeah,
okay.
I think so. In kind of an all-star piece on Jackson Merrill, just kind of how he got here so quickly to the All-Star game in just his first season. And as the story goes, Jackson Merrill was not considered like a high-value prospect, at least like his junior year in high school. He was pretty under the radar, not that well-known. Maryland is not a place where there's a hotbed of scouting, but the Padres found him and were on him early. And they did not want other teams necessarily getting wind of their interest in Jackson Merrill, but AJ wanted to see this guy in person, see what the scouts had shown him. So he went to the game for Severna Park High School, but didn't want to be seen. So he hid in the football bleachers, like next to the baseball stadium, and then one of the custodians kind of found him. And
Hey,
goes, buddy, you can't. You're not. This is closed. You can't be
Tom
here.
up there or something.
He's trying to hide to make sure no one sees him at this game. Scouting Jackson Merrill.
Because if somebody sees AJ Preller there, right? They're like, well, who's he? It's the power of deduction.
There's some interest here for sure.
100%. I never even really thought about how that. I never really thought about that aspect of AJ's job of not only wanting to go, Paulie's the scout, and Paulie calls me, the GM, and says, you're going to like this kid. And I go, well, everybody knows who I am. If I show up at his game, everybody's going to get on him too, and maybe they'll draft him higher. So I have to be really, really sneaky about going to watch this kid play. I never thought about it like that.
And
really.
It didn't really work. By the time he got to his senior season, there were 50 scouts at his games, and they started following him. But he did fall. Yankees were interested. They thought they might take him before the Padres, but he did end up falling to the Padres, who were thrilled at the opportunity. I thought another funny part of the story: regional scout Jake Koenig and area scout Danny Sater would tell the Merrills all the time it was okay not to talk to any other teams. And Merrill says, I remember I posted a picture with Danny on Instagram one time, and he got, ticked off because I'm a Padres scout. Don't send out that I'm here watching you. We don't want people to know about this and know about you.
What a business, man. Holy cow.
Apparently Jackson was pretty happy that he fell to the Padres. He said they were the most easy, straight up with me organization, talked to me the most, made me feel the most comfortable, so that when he did go to the Padres in the first round, he was really happy that was the team that ended up with him, the one that was really on him first and following his career from the early stages.
They're talking to the chat. AJ in a shirt that says not a scout. I'm here on vacation. I'm not here to scout.
I think you're talking about the subterfuge.
Yeah, the subterfuge
of the GM game, and part of AJ's, I think, subterfuge is he goes so many places that you can't always just assume that because AJ's there, they're hot and heavy on a guy.
Do you think that he has actually gone places as a decoy to throw?
I don't know that necessarily as a decoy. I think it's just the
volume.
Sheer volume of it does mask a little bit of who your true interest is in, because you go so many places other teams can't go. Well, AJ's there. Now, when a GM mostly stays in his office, sends the scouts out, and then comes out once or twice to scout a couple of games, you kind of have an idea that they're really interested in a player. With AJ, you can't really do that because he'll be, in Arizona, and then he'll be in the Dominican, and then he'll be in Asia, and then he'll be scouting at a high school field in the Midwest. And he's all over the place, much more than your typical president of baseball operations general manager.
Yeah, and I've heard that used as a knock against him at times.
It can
but
be.
when you have now a guy like Jackson Merrill, it's something you can hang your hat on, man. You were on him for a long, long time. It's got to suck to see one of those guys. I mean, think about, for all the ones that he has picked, Ben, think about all the ones that have gone 2 picks before his. You know what I mean? And
we'll never know.
And you'll never know. And all the time and energy invested that all his staff puts in. It's pretty nuts, man. It'd be a tough gig.
Unless someone does write the tell-all book, like the A.J. Preller autobiography that Tony in the chat has requested. Diesel says, A Day in the Life of Preller. I'd read that book.
In a heartbeat. It will never, ever happen.
I don't think it'll ever get written.
Now, if we talk to AJ soon, I imagine we will at some point soon, I'd like to ask him about his subterfuge. Has he ever gone in disguise? Fake mustache, a wig, perhaps.
I mean, he doesn't ever, I don't want to say ever, like the Zoom that he did the other day, had a tie, had a coat on, looked fairly business-like.
But he's usually in his scouting
life,
gear.
He's oftentimes just T-shirt, basketball shorts, pretty casual. Like, you wouldn't notice him necessarily in a crowd walking around like, that guy's definitely a Major League Baseball scout. No, not really. He blends in fairly well in an audience that you're not even going to notice that he's there a lot of the time.
It's such a gig that I don't know if there's an amount of money that you could pay me to do. You know what I mean? To do
the travel would be tough.
The travel would murder me. I mean, it would just murder me, and not with two small kids. Even if I was a single man, I still don't know that that's a gig that I could do. You're schlepping out to Lawrence, Kansas, to watch some 17-year-old pitcher throw.
I wouldn't mind, like you said, if it didn't have the family ties. I don't know that I'd mind the travel. I just think the pressure of trying to identify, knowing this decision, I'm either going to give this kid, $4 million or this other kid $4 million, just based on my impressions, what I've seen, what my guys have told me. And really, it's a fine line. Do you think the difference between the 24th pick and the 25th pick is blatantly obvious?
Right.
No, it's not. It's subtle differences. And this is where you have made your reputation, where you make your success in the future depends on your judgment here. And it's not a perfect science. It's as far from a perfect science as you're going to probably get in professional sports, is scouting, especially high school players, and projecting what their bodies might look like, how they might develop, their work ethic, everything in like 5 years from now. So tough.
Developing players would be awesome. That would be like my favorite thing in the world to do, but to like help mold guys into young men that can
move to Peoria.
Yeah, move to Peoria and just rip fungos and scream at guys all day, and I think that would be so much fun.
I like everyone in the chat is trying to cast the A.J. Preller movie. Who would play A.J. Preller? Got an Adam Sandler, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
it's not actually a bad call. I think
not a bad call.
If he could get into the role.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal would be a very
Franco.
good. Yep, Dave Franco.
Ideas to play A.J. Preller.
No, they said Adam Sandler Hustle, Part 2, based on the true story of A.J. Preller. Hustle was a really good
See
movie.
A.J. Preller like in the draft room just going whoopity boo, zippity da.
Yeah.
I see the look though, the kind of the dark.
Yeah, the dark hair
look.
I
You could
can see it.
Adam Sandler could probably pull that off.
Well, he's like
more.
60 now, but if you're doing later A.J. Preller, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a movie that's not 10 years away, Probably doesn't get made unless the Padres win, a couple World Series titles.
Yeah,
and
I'm
get
ready
the
for
ups
it.
and downs of A.J. Preller to finally get to the point where he has that success, later in his career.
Diesel nailed it. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. Joaquin would crush that.
Oh, he'd get into the role completely.
Well, from our standpoint, yeah, Seth Rogen.
He'd like start playing pickup basketball just to get into character.
Seth Rogen as Mike Schilt. What?
There you go. I get it. The laugh.
Oh, all right, do it again. Then you got.
Yeah. Not bad.
That made me laugh entirely too much. Seth Rogen is Mike Schilt.
And making his big screen debut as Fernando Tatis Jr. Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, he needs
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
He needs to be in a movie soon at some point.
They'll find a way to do a shirtless scene somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure,
absolutely.
in the movies.
No, I mean, listen, I don't get super revved up for the draft anymore, but I don't know why that one guy's write up got me pretty good yesterday.
Hellish light tower power.
Yeah, hellish raw power. No one hits the ball as hard and can do as much damage as this guy. Oh, all right. Kavaris Tears.
Love it.
Looking forward to seeing him.
Since he's a high schooler and probably like 18 years old, my idea that
he's in college.
Oh, he's college.
Yeah,
That's
I think
right.
he's
Still
20.
21. Still, my idea that he should wear number 96 to have 96 tears from the old oldie song on his back probably wouldn't fly with a 20-something these days.
I'm begging you to do that anecdote at spring training next year. I'm begging you.
If I see him, meet him. Ever thought of wearing number 96 after the old song by Question Mark and the Mysterions?
I don't even know this song.
You know the song. Paulie,
96
call up
Tears?
96 Tears.
I know 96 bottles of beer on the wall.
96 Tears by Question Mark. It's actually one of my favorites in terms of like oldies from 1960 or something.
Oh, yeah.
But this was, you don't know this song? You know this song.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
96 Tears.
96 Tears, Question Mark, and the Mysterions. We'll play it out here to the top of the hour. Wow. That was...
Oh, yeah. 96 Tears. This song sucks. So bad. I bet you Tavares, what's his name?
Kavaris
Tears. I bet you he will have no idea. And now you have
Zero
to ask
idea,
him that.
I'm sure.
You have to.
Zero. It's even old for me.
I'll give you
to be referring
$500.
to that
I'll give you
one.
$500 to interview him and ask him that question.
Why not?
All right. We can, we can use it after spring training.
All right. Let's get to our final hour. Paulie, I'll get some headlines for us in the Reindl Report. Wasn't a ton going on yesterday. It was All-Star Monday. But he's always got something for us, for sure. Continue on until 10 o'clock with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. Final hour of Ben & Woods, summer break, day 2 on a Tuesday. And some sad news here. We had a bunch of shout-outs yesterday with Hollywood celebrities. This is a name that I remember very well from my childhood and has become more famous for other reasons. But Joe Bryant, Jelly Bean Joe, passed away at the age of 69. He was Kobe's dad, obviously, which is what I think he was probably more well-known for in further generations. But I remember going to watch Jelly Bean play for the San Diego Clippers when I was very young. It was like 1979 to 1982. They were only here for a few years. He was one of the key players, point guard. And he wasn't certainly an NBA Hall of Famer by any stretch of the imagination. Probably the nickname is what
Jelly Bean
attracted me to Joe Jelly Bean. But
100%.
back in the day, he was young basketball Ben's favorite player for at least a 3-year period in San Diego. And apparently he had suffered a stroke recently and passed away at the age of 69. Apparently he had not done a lot of public activity ever since his Kobe's death in 2020. Hadn't been seen much in public. Obviously, must have been just devastating. But that's a sad one. So, Paulie, if you would please, for Joe Jelly Bean Bryant.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Definitely one of the better nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
In sports history.
Great nickname.
It's a great nickname.
Really good.
Does anybody know the origin? Did you just like Jelly Beans?
That's a good question. I know that Kobe's nickname or his middle name was Bean.
Bean. I call Bo Bean
because of Jelly Bean and the nickname that he got when he was in the NBA.
I don't know why we do, but we call him Bean. So he was playing ball yesterday. I was like, Bean. I don't think he likes it. I had to go tie his shoe.
So via the LA Times, growing up in Philadelphia, high school teammate nicknamed him Jelly Bean for his variety of moves despite being so big. It must be
even better.
That's way better than he just liked jelly beans.
It must be jelly because jam don't shake like that.
God, that's great.
That's outstanding.
Not bad.
You have so many weapons in your arsenal with the basketball. We're going to call you Jelly Bean.
Shake like jelly.
That's unreal.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That was from a Glenn Miller song. It must be jelly because jam don't shake like that. Jelly Bean Joe.
Jelly Bean Joe. Shout out to his family.
All right. And Paulie, why don't you get us to the Reindl Report?
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. Good morning, my friends. We will start off. How about we're getting ready for the Olympics. Summer Games in Paris coming up in just a couple weeks, I believe.
Correct.
Friday the 26th, I think, is
Opening
the opening
ceremonies. I think there's even like a soccer game before that just because they need a little longer time for the tournament. So we're right on top of it.
Get everything going. So there was a lot of discussion yesterday about Team USA basketball. They almost lost.
They did.
In an exhibition game against Australia. They were playing in Abu Dhabi. And just an exhibition game, and they won 98-92. And all of a sudden, every headline was
panic.
Oh my gosh, should there be concern about Team USA basketball? Ben, are you concerned at all? Team USA.
I mean, I'm not concerned. I think they'll still win the gold medal. They're not going to win every game by 40 points. There's good.
Typical American.
Really good
arrogance from
international
Ben Higgins.
basketball now.
Yeah, there is.
I'm also not concerned because if they lose, I'm not going to be devastated. It's not like my favorite team in the world. And if someone else wins, good for them. You shouldn't be losing to Australia.
It's very much a world game now.
Yeah.
I mean, the top 5 players
They're
in the
all
NBA
international.
are international
Exactly.
players. But those most of those teams have the one superstar.
Correct.
Like Serbia has Jokic.
Filled in
Greece has Giannis.
Right.
Yeah.
But the American team has like 12 also
it's the
really
best
good
team
players.
since the dream team, I would say, at least talent-wise.
Now, what do you think about this take in the chat from Jay? It's Steve Kerr and his 4-guard lineups that will be Team USA's downfall.
Say nothing bad about Steve.
Yeah, Jay, you don't know who you're talking to here.
Anthony Davis had a good game yesterday. He's not one of the 4 guards. Still gets good usage in there. I mean, they have a lot of good guards though as well. Is he overplaying Steph Curry a little bit because he's,
that's his guy?
That's his guy.
Yeah,
it's possible.
You
I'd
like
probably
Steph
do the
Curry.
same thing. I like Steph Curry.
Yeah,
You like Curry.
you like Curry
I like
and
Steve
you
Kerr.
And Kerr.
and you like Steve Kerr.
Curry,
Steve Kerr. I like that.
All right. Next up, this is, like you said, it's a pretty slow week in sports. But I saw this story and it fascinated me. So John Cena announced future retirement from WWE. I think he's he's been part-time for a while now, and he's officially retiring sometime in 2025. He's left the full-time wrestling gig to pursue acting, and you see him on TV.
Wait. He left the full-time wrestling gig.
Oh boy.
To pursue.
He left being
acting.
a full-time employee of WWE,
where he was already an actor, to pursue full-time acting. So the full-time actor is now pursuing full-time acting.
Now, look, I'm not really into wrestling anymore.
Is it a
at
physical
all,
form of
but
acting? Yes, very physical.
I fully endorse you, the listener, if you are into wrestling.
You can rip him.
Pile drive Ben.
Yeah.
Give him a suplex.
Not saying that it's not. I mean, just like Hollywood stuntmen, very physically demanding profession acting can be, especially when you're a WWE wrestler. Maybe the most physically demanding acting profession out there.
Okay.
We're trying to keep listeners here. That's what our goal. Did you know that? We're trying to keep listeners here on the program.
Kill you.
You're dead.
Anyways, sorry about this.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry about him.
So sorry. It's not highfalutin enough. For him.
I liked wrestling as a kid. I kind of got out of it as John Cena was becoming more prominent, but I've always liked John Cena.
Really
he seems like a
dude.
really nice guy.
Yeah. Padres guy, yeah. I mean, he's been. Yeah.
I think he has a house in San Diego. I think he lives here.
What's up, John?
I'm not saying I
John,
dislike John
come on
Cena.
down here and beat the.
I don't dislike John Cena. He's a very talented actor. Very talented.
But what shocked me was what's going to happen with his money. So there was I was reading the story. There's a lot of comparison between him and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Sure.
The Rock started as a wrestler, left the wrestling industry, became a full-time actor.
It's funny how good of actors these guys are
my God.
after they leave wrestling.
They're going to kill you.
It's almost as if they've been training for it their whole lives.
For the Christmas extravaganza, I would like to get him in a steel cage with these actors and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Well,
break your neck.
If the script says I come out on top, we'll see.
So when
I want a writer, will you get me in the steel cage? But I get to write it.
Will you stop criticizing these athletes?
these incredible,
and just let me tell the damn story.
World-class
Go ahead.
athletes.
Continue.
So when The Rock left, he was a wrestler as The Rock.
Right.
He's an actor as Dwayne Johnson.
Sure.
That's not the same case for John Cena. He was a wrestler as John Cena.
Okay.
His birth name, that is his legal name, and he's also an actor, John Cena. WWE owns the moniker John Cena.
Oh no. His real name.
Because that is the name that he registered with them as a wrestler. So, future movies that he is a part of, WWE is going to get a cut of all future earnings because they own the John Cena moniker.
It's an easy transition. Just name yourself Dan Stevens.
Yeah, you got to
That's
legally
it.
change
Dan
your name.
Does Odyssey own Ben and Woods? If we went somewhere else, would we have to be Dan and Steve or something? Or what? I mean, Higgins and Steve? Or?
What's your middle name? Steven?
Steven.
Mine is Lee. Stephen and
Stephen Lee.
That's my name.
Didn't know you were an assassin over here.
I'm not.
But I just thought that was crazy. I'm like, huh? Did nobody tell him hey, if you sign up as your real name,
you should have. So he would have been.
Ass.
He would have been better up signing up as Butthead or something, to wrestling under Butthead. So then
You
we
can't take someone's actual name, though. Don't you own your actual name?
So I guess he went on Howard Stern show recently, and they asked him about that, and he said he doesn't have a problem with it. He goes, what did he say? He goes, look, I've gotten to live out my wildest dreams. He said, Howard, before this, I was a kid in a small Massachusetts town mowing lawns for a golf course. I don't mind kicking a percentage of my earnings to the person that gave me a chance and an opportunity. If anything, it's a sign of respect. I owe them a lot. That's a very
positive
way to look at it.
Noble take. Adam, you're not getting a nickel of my money. Not one red cent.
It's probably easier when you have John Cena type money
That's
to
true.
kick a little bit.
That's true.
Kick a little bit back. But I saw that article and I go, huh. They own his ass.
They really own you.
That is
when
fascinating.
You leave.
He films a movie and they're getting a cut of it. Wow. Yeah.
What other organization can do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering about.
Like he built his brand as John Cena
But that's
under
his
the
name.
WWE
His name is
umbrella.
John Cena. He's an
I
employee.
mean, like when Michael Jordan does something, the NBA doesn't get to keep, or the Chicago Bulls don't get to keep,
Right.
like money because he uses the name Michael Jordan.
If he lives here in town, he'd be a fun visit.
Yeah.
As I
your
nod
ass.
over to Ben. So Ben, what did you want to say to John Cena sitting next to us?
How much I respect his talent.
And then finally, got a story here out of Columbus, Ohio, but I believe this really belongs in Florida.
Okay.
Columbus, man.
There's Ohio and
Himself.
Florida are they're kind of similar.
Yeah, it's like Miami of Ohio.
Right, Miami of Ohio, Miami of Florida.
That always confused me as a kid.
I believe there's a Cleveland Street in Miami as well, or Cleveland Hotel. So yeah, I get it.
There's a man, and what's his name? His name's in the sound clip I'm about to play. He had himself a night the other night. He was arrested early Tuesday morning for breaking and entering into a strip mall. And just listen to the news report that I pulled here, about 30 seconds. It includes some body cam footage from the cops as well.
Okay.
Oh, God, there is
Using animals? Oh, there are gerbils in there. Animal abuse.
What the heck? I got gerbils. What the heck?
Multiple gerbils.
In his pants.
Multiple gerbils in his pants.
He was
multiple gerbils recovered.
Recovering rodents from Matthew Pancake's pants.
Wasn't this
That's his name.
the Richard Gere?
Yeah, the urban legend.
Yeah.
His name is Matthew Pancakes.
Multiple gerbils recovered.
Recovering rodents from Matthew Pancake's
Thank you for
pants.
local
The officer
newsifying
responds to
this.
Petland.
Mr. Pancake, you're underwear.
Don't move.
Officers find glass in Pancake's pants and a dog collar on him and...
Oh, there are gerbils in there. Animal abuse. Multiple gerbils.
In his pants. Multiple.
There's so much. There's so much.
Recovered.
There's so much.
busted in an outfit appropriate for his wild...
So he...
Go
ahead.
You know what he was doing. I guess that is a real thing.
I don't know what he was doing. Tell us what was he doing? Dog collar.
Dog collar.
Right.
Gives it away. Broke into a.
Was there also glass?
That
they
was
said it
that staged?
Glass?
Matthew Pancake. Is that real, Paulie? Did you get duped?
I'm reading from the Columbus Dispatch.
Is it the Columbus Dispatch .biz or something?
.com. It is the Columbus Dispatch.
I think that was a local news story in audio.
Bethany
that was like,
Bruner
Yeah,
is
you
the author of the article.
Okay.
And so they found he was reported for breaking and entering into a different part of the strip
Right,
mall.
and then was like,
they found him. He apparently had broken into Petland, the pet store at the Hilliard Station Shopping Center. When they found the man, he was wearing like tight leather, or not leather, but leopard print pants, and they noticed there was things in there, and they kind of cut the pants open, and pulled out a bunch of gerbils.
Those pet stores that used to be in the malls.
Hamsters is what they actually
It's
were.
really sad.
I know, it made me sad too. When I
Go
was
to
a
the
kid.
shelter, adopt a pet. Don't go to the mall to buy a puppy or a kitten.
And if I it's such deviant behavior. They say don't kink shame people. No, I'm here to kink shame you. If you're into that.
In this particular
I'm going to kink shame you. I'm sorry. I'm 100% going to kink shame you.
Mine still doesn't know what.
Wouldn't it hurt to have animals in your pants?
That's not what they. I'll tell you at the break. I can't. There's no way to describe this on the radio. None. And I wish I didn't know. And don't ask your parents, kids, if you're listening. Paulie.
Told you it was a slow day.
Disappointed in that story. Matthew Pancakes is the best part of it.
Yes.
Matthew Pancakes.
Rodents from Matthew Pancake's pants.
I mean, I don't know if that's his real name.
It's probably his
Matthew Pancakes. You're kind of doomed.
I want to
get screwed.
I want to play that story and the leprechaun story and the guy in South Carolina in a field. The just great news reports of all time.
The best of all time. That is. I'll explain to you, and you're going to be repulsed.
Okay.
All right.
Let's change the subject when we come back. The new announcer rankings for TV baseball play-by-play are out.
They're out.
Where did our Don Orsillo and Mark Grant, who usually rank pretty highly, I think they've even been number one in the past.
They have in 2019.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen where they land yet, but we've got the new rankings in this morning. We can get to that coming up with Ben Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Filled our beloved Ben and just have ruined him further. I didn't want to have to tell you that, but I did.
Well, it's always good to have knowledge.
Yeah.
I will say that. Just feels, as we said, the juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze in this instance.
Dude, exactly. Exactly. Like,
you're on the right track. Yeah.
It's not. There's just no need to hurt those poor rodents. They're just trying to live their life. And
all right, let's move on. So there's a website called Awful Announcing.
Yeah.
And even though the name is Awful Announcing, they will sometimes highlight things that go wrong in the world of broadcasting.
We have played a ton of their own.
We have. They also just cover sports broadcasters in general. And every year, usually I think here at the All-Star break, they put out their rankings of all 30 MLB, television, play-by-play, and color commentary teams. And it's always, it's just kind of fun to bandy about. No one really gets to watch all 30 of them, so this is based on basically the impressions of their own fan base. It's never a good sign when your own fan base, hates you. Yeah, we hate the Diamondbacks broadcasters and the Dodgers broadcasters, but when your own fans are ranking you in the bottom, third, like the very last place broadcasters this year were the Chicago White Sox. Probably has something to do with how bad their team is as well. But
and losing Benetti, who was just beloved.
That hurts.
It's like, think about what we would do.
Yeah. The Red Sox went down when Don Orsillo left.
And think about if we lost Jesse Agler. That poor next guy. You know what I mean? We would just die. So Benetti went to the Tigers, and plus this Schifrin guy's not very good. He's a little weird.
Play some audio.
He's
the
growler.
Little off still.
He's the growler. He's trying to figure it out.
But Mud and Don have always done fairly well, including, as you mentioned, back in 2019 where they finished
I believe it was 19.
First.
Yep.
How did they do this year, Woodsy?
Paulie, do you have it in front of you?
I
had it. Oh,
I
you
do.
Okay.
They actually came in at third.
Top 3.
This year, play-by-play Don Orsillo, analyst Mark Grant, and occasionally Tony Gwynn Jr. Most common grade, A. 58.46% of Padres fans gave him a solid A. Previous years, they've been pretty highly ranked all the way through. They started 12th when they first did this in 2014, but then moved up to 5th, then 4th, then 3rd, then 1st, then back to 3rd in 2023. I guess they only have done it once because of the pandemic in the last few years, and they remain at 3rd this year. Here are the comments. Despite increasing their score in the last 2 rankings, Padres have been stuck in 3rd, unable to recreate their top ranking from 2019. The Don Orsillo and Mark Grant team is beloved in San Diego and beyond, and there's no need to say much more about this excellent broadcast.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, one of the teams that consistently has finished ahead of them are the Giants broadcasters. Dave Fleming, Dwayne Kuiper. Before that, it was Mike Krukow was the other guy. He's one of the analysts still. They have finished first, second, second, and first in the rankings. This year, though, second in the rankings. So we have a new top dog in Major League Baseball for the first time when it comes to local broadcasters. The winner, the New York Mets broadcasting team. Gary Cohen, play-by-play, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez. They got an A. 68% of Mets fans, after finishing 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, they moved to the top of the heap. After a decade in the top 5, their rank never decreasing and an always respectable score. The beloved New York Mets broadcast team has finally topped our rankings with their best ever score. The trio of Gary, Keith, and Ron deserves this ranking no matter what complaints might be dished out by some.
They're pretty good. Cohen is awesome. Gary Cohen's fantastic. Keith Hernandez is funny and pretty wheels off. Ron Darling, it makes me nuts. He makes me nuts. He's the one that I go, really? Really?
He sounds like actor James Woods to my ear.
Who does? Ron Darling?
Ron Darling, yes. That's all I can hear when I hear his voice, which is fine.
I just remember when he was here and we weren't allowed to talk to him or look at him.
Right.
He was,
in the building. That's right.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to.
He had to come in here to cut. He was on the road.
They were in town.
Yeah, and he had to do like a radio show or something.
I think he had to do his podcast.
And he did it here. And we were all excited. We're like, oh, hell yeah, we'll get Ron Darling in to shoot the breeze and talk pitching and baseball. And no, he's not to be looked at or bothered at all.
I think what really
don't breathe near him
separates them, and I don't listen to a ton of Mets, but I've heard some, and even from the other top three in the Giants and the Padres, Gary Cohen especially, but also the analysts, they tell it like it is, and they are sometimes pretty critical.
I heard
of
one.
The Mets.
Did you hear it the other day about Severino?
Yeah,
yeah, and I think it was I think it was Darling actually that trashed Luis Severino twice.
Not that Mud won't occasionally criticize when it's warranted, but the Mets will go in for a New York audience. Yeah. They are a little tougher, a little sharper, I would say sometimes with their critiques.
They're really funny too. I mean, there's some funny moments.
And that resonates, especially I think with their audience, and gives some also credit to the Mets, front office and ownership. I mean, there are some teams we've seen that have been prickly. Who was the Kevin Brown? Remember the story with the Orioles?
Orioles,
I mean, didn't even say anything bad and got suspended. So you have to have the support of your front office and ownership to sometimes be able to say things that you think are true but aren't necessarily flattering about your organization. But I firmly believe that more teams should go this route, because when you have broadcasters who are allowed to be critical and speak their minds when they are positive, and guess what? They know where their paychecks are coming. They will still be positive a lot of the time. It carries so much more weight, and you can believe it when they tell you something is good and should be appreciated, and you should be cheering for this team. Because if all they say all the time for 162 games is looking on the bright side and positivity, and I'm a positive guy, but if that's all you get, how can you ever believe what they're saying, even when it is true?
All right, the top five: the Mets number one, the Giants number two. That one, I know that I know everyone loves. Kruko's not there anymore.
He's still on. He's still part-time. Part-time now, yeah.
Man, they turned me off so bad when we played the Giants, and they freaked out that the Padres didn't rush to somebody's defense. He was going over. Remember, he was going over to catch a foul ball, and they just kind of backed off, as you're supposed to do, and it's happened a billion times. They acted like it was the first time they'd ever seen it. They were like, oh, that's classless, this, that, and the other. So, I mean, they've always kind of put me to sleep. I've never really gotten the allure. But Giants fans love them, and I understand that fully. Where were the Dodgers?
Guess what? Who's number 4, though?
Who?
And it was the Orioles. And a big reason for that was probably because of the Kevin Brown suspension. Fans go, okay, this guy, is not, not afraid to speak his mind. And we like that about our broadcast team. So management may not love it, but guess what? Your audience does. And they moved up from 10 to number 4 this year. And I think that was a big reason why, even in the comments, it said the fact that Kevin Brown was suspended has not hurt matters.
Dodgers are at number 5. That's a pity.
They got an A from 48%. Remember, these are Dodgers fans who are voting.
It's excruciating.
But they still have to listen to Oral Hershiser.
Yeah, and Joe Davis. Sleepy Joe.
They were 5 in the last 2 polls as well.
That's a pity. Bang. That's what that is.
The comments say, sure, Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser aren't Vin Scully, but the team has adequately replaced a broadcasting icon. It's adequate. They're adequate and not legendary is what I got there.
Such a puker. The world's biggest puker. Oh, it's so bad.
And you work with one right here.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he puts you to
Thank you.
shame. I mean, it's not even close. When we're talking about pukers, it's not even close. He smokes you. I'll never forget it, man. Fixing his little eyebrows. I'll never forget. It's burned in my brain. Walking in, him on his tippy toes, licking his fingers, fixing his little eyebrows in the mirror. Giving himself the little pouty look.
All right. Final segment coming up. Woods has something that's on his mind. I wouldn't call it, it's not eyewash. What is it?
No. I wanted to ask you if you guys saw the moment last night, and Philly fans were actually tweeting about it.
You call it pandering.
They call it pandering. like Devin Caney, who we've talked to many times on this program. She does radio in Philly. She calls Bryce Harper. He's the king of pandering.
You like Bryce Harper.
I love Bryce Harper. How could you not? But he is.
You don't necessarily disagree with his take.
I don't know how to feel. I want to find out what you guys think and the audience about athletes pandering. No one panders harder to Philly than Bryce Harper. Is that the right thing to do? And we'll talk about a little pandering next. I'll tell you what happened last night.
Coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. What's baseball really like? Join former Padre MLB All-Star Brett Boone and his big league friends on his podcast, The Boone Podcast. It's 3 days a week. You usually hear him Wednesdays here with us as well. Follow The Boone Podcast in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, this jumped out at me last night when I was watching the broadcast, and it was just an eye roll moment for me. Let's play the audio. Alec Boehm is the first man up.
Is there audio?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
The video you sent me.
Oh, it has no audio? Okay, sorry.
All right, let me check traffic, and we'll come back and we'll explain what happened last night at the MLB All-Star Game that has Woods accusing a Major League Baseball star of pandering. After traffic, you're on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
A couple of problems in North County. One of them is a stalled vehicle in the center divide, northbound 15 before Scripps Poway Parkway, and a collision on eastbound 78 past El Camino Real. No details as to whether that is blocking any lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Alec Boehm is the first man up last night in the home run derby. Goes up, hits his 11 home runs or whatever before he takes his time out. And, his teammates are out there. Trey Turner's out there and Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper runs up there with like a clear jug. It's clear. There's no label on it except for a piece of tape on it that says Wooder, and it's spelled Wooder. And he...
Oh, okay. I just saw the video.
Yeah.
It's more than just that. It's a clear jug with the tape that says Wooder. But he actually turns to the camera and points at it.
Like, look,
that makes a difference.
He's like looking up at the big screen.
He's looking
too,
and he's positioning himself in a way.
This does change things for me a little bit because I hadn't seen it until just now on the YouTube stream, and I thought, someone gave him a cool gift from Philly. It's a water bottle that says Wooder.
No, he took a piece of tape and wrote Wooder on it, and then was like, look.
And then points at it on camera like, look at this, look at this. Okay, that is definitely a different scenario than I was imagining.
But so this is like a Philly talking point about as it pertains to Bryce Harper, and it just got me thinking.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
You call me when you get your Wooder. And so, obviously, he signed a long-term deal. He's going to be in Philly for a long time, and he has said over and over, I love this place. I love being, I love the fan base. He listens to sports talk radio. We played that clip last year. But it just got me thinking.
He, of course, is a native Las Vegan.
Yes, correct.
He doesn't talk like that.
No, he does not. He doesn't pronounce it Wooder. He says water. The rest of us. And it just got me thinking. I saw Philly, our friend Devin tweeted, he is the king of pandering. And I feel like for the most part, they eat it up.
I was going to say, do they like it?
I think they eat it up. I was just read a couple of blogs about it, and they're like, hey, he can pander all he wants. He produces. He really has seemed to embrace the city of Philadelphia. And people in the chat are saying, well, people in Philly love that because they want, the quote was, they have to justify their crummy city. So they want anybody that seems to like their city. I've only been to Philadelphia once. I thought it was fine, but I laughed. He came in last year. Remember, he had the jacket made, and it was like the Sixers, the Eagles. He had all the Philly teams on a jacket. I'm like, what's next? He walks in with the Liberty Bell around his neck, and his knees are clanging into it as he walks into the clubhouse. I just, I wonder, do you want that?
I'm just glad we don't have to do that here in America's finest city. With the #1 ballpark in America,
That's right.
And the best fans in America.
That's right.
We don't need to pander here in San Diego.
It's just America's Machado didn't need to sign here and just be like, "Hey, bro, where can I get some fish
America's
tacos?
finest.
You guys got
city.
tacos?"
We were voted America's finest city in 1972,
and
we're
just still wearing it.
Just have worn that for the last 50 years.
Now it's funny. I can only speak to. Now you're a native,
yes,
so you've never lived anywhere else. I can only speak to my personal experience of being here. And when I got here, I was from Texas, right? And everyone was like, you better not be bringing any of that. And I was like, I don't even like Texas. I don't care. I'm so happy to be here. I've been trying to get to California my entire life. But I also...
Where's the best barbecue in America, Woods?
Texas.
Really?
Texas? Yeah, 100%. Still, yeah, Texas.
The Texas
City.
Rangers.
But... You do have to be careful, don't you? A little bit when you lean in.
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts? You're a local.
I mean, if you have some genuine pride in the place where you are playing and you want to show a little bit of it, Absolutely. And there's plenty to be proud about here. There's plenty to be proud about in Philadelphia. And I don't mind Bryce Harper showing it off. But don't go to the extremes where you need to
Wooder, get it?
Wooder,
You guys
point
get it?
and
Wooder?
like this. See what I'm doing here? See this? See what I'm doing here? Let it happen naturally. You know, Joe Musgrove is a native San Diego.
Yeah.
And he comes up once or twice, but that's fine because it comes up naturally. I don't think he's going out of his way to rep, San Diego. He just does. He does it cleanly and organically, and that's great because he's got real pride for where he's from and he lives here.
When he got traded to the Astros, or he was drafted by the Astros, he was
honestly,
howdy guys, how y'all doing? I don't think so.
Honestly, Woods, I think you are one.
Like Brian Kelly.
I don't think you're a panderer. You aren't from here, but I don't think you're trying to, falsely convince people that you love San Diego. You just genuinely love it here.
I
believe
anywhere else.
To be a Tiger.
That's pandering.
I'm here with my family.
And
from Boston.
We are so
and when you talk
excited.
about how you don't want to live anywhere else,
Never.
I believe you.
I will die here.
It's genuine.
On
It's
the radio,
authentic.
off the radio, I will die in
Do
this
you
city.
think Bryce Harper, after he is done with his career, is going to retire in Philadelphia and live there for the rest of his life?
I don't know, man. When we talked to Matt Strom last year, he has an affinity now for Philly. And maybe it's something with the team and their success and everything else, and it maybe breeds that in their players a little bit more. You'd love to see that here. But, I think, and somebody just made the point in the chat, like Manny bought a pro team here. He does a ton for the community, more than honestly any other player in this city. He does, and he doesn't get nearly the respect that Bryce Harper gets. Period.
Maybe he needs to point more on camera.
Yeah.
Here's my soccer team.
Here's my soccer team. I don't know. It's just really weird. I think, and he bought a house here, built a house here, and like they're here. This is their community. And I remember talking to a buddy my friend that's an agent, and he said, "Man, the guys now that sign the big contracts." He goes, "It's back in the day, you'd sign a big contract, and you're like, well, this is where I live. I live here. I moved here. Yes, I'm from Kansas, but I moved here and I bought a house here and I'm part of this community." He said it was just such a rarity in players these days, and I'm not faulting those players either. And I'm not mad at Bryce Harper at all. I think it's pretty cool. I thought that was a little over the top.
Yeah, when I saw the video, I definitely see why it caught your attention.
It would. But it's kind of, it's cool him wearing Philly stuff and repping the local teams and all that. That's great. That's great. But
you also don't want to necessarily have the athlete who's simply the hired gun who immediately, as soon as the season's over, goes back to his hometown, then shows up, spring training and go, hey, I'm here.
There's plenty of those, man.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them.
So
Dominic says, pander all you want if you're winning. Yeah, it's interesting.
You know what? I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's when you're not winning that players tend to maybe lean on the pandering a little bit more. You don't have to pander when you're winning.
Yeah,
you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
Winning. You don't have to do this. Bryce Harper's kind of going a little extra where he doesn't need to go a little extra here. They're winning. They're doing fine.
I think, civic pride and all that is great. It's fantastic. And he's really leaned into it, man, and they have embraced it. They have certainly embraced it in Philly, and he's helping them win. He's producing and everything else. I thought that moment last night was a little over the top, but I'm a big Bryce Harper fan.
I always go back and forth. Like, I remember everybody lost their minds one year when Jake Cronenworth in the offseason, posted a picture of him wearing a San Diego Gulls jersey.
Yeah, they freaked out.
I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care where you live in your offseason, what teams you root for. As long as when you are here, you're here.
Yeah, you're here.
And you produce, ultimately is the most important thing. I couldn't care less.
I think what bothers non-Philadelphia Phillies fans about Bryce Harper sometimes, and even before when he was with the Washington Nationals, it definitely feels like the media plays up the good things about Harper and downplays the bad things about
Always
Harper.
have.
Whereas with Manny Machado, it's the exact opposite. The good things always seem to be downplayed, and the bad things always are magnified. But why? They're very. You look at the numbers. You look at the kind of people. very similar. I mean,
Like-
there's
like
no players that
massively
are more
similar.
similar
I know.
in baseball probably than Manny Machado and Bryce Harper.
This is going to surprise you guys. I have seen Bryce Harper jog to first base on
Me
more
too.
than one occasion.
Me
I've
too.
seen it with my own eyes, and that's a different conversation. But yeah, man,
Manny's
it's,
better defensively. Bryce has had a little more playoff success, but same number of rings, I believe.
yes, exact same.
So the numbers, the home runs, the average, I mean, it's shockingly similar between the two players. Shockingly. But the perception,
What if Bryce Harper bought a soccer team in Philly? The world would explode.
has Bryce Harper ever had run-ins with his own teammates? Yes.
Yeah, choked by teammates.
Yes,
you know what?
absolutely.
You know what for? For not running hard. It's exactly what it was for. It's wild. But Papelbon was the a-hole there. It's just an interesting perspective. So, I thought it was a moment last night, and I just said that's very, very much over
But
the
it's
top.
that's not necessarily Bryce Harper's fault.
No.
It's not Bryce Harper we don't like. It's the way he's deified
100%.
compared to other people for no real reason that you can put your finger on.
I mean, because he wears like the Philly fanatic head when he walks into the to play a game. Like, all right, whatever you need. Like,
But I wouldn't want Manny to start doing that.
Manny's like skateboarding to work. It would be weird. Like, just be you. I like who he is,
I do.
and I like who Bryce Harper is too. Wooder. So good.
Manny just like carrying fish tacos into the clubhouse.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? You guys like Rubios? This is ridiculous, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. Tim says he looked it up. Harper lives in Knoxville. Last reported. There you go. Knoxville.
Just in a couple minutes that we didn't get to and don't do this, fairly gnarly story involving NFL Hall of Famer and San Diego native Terrell Davis, Lincoln High School, who was involved in an incident over the weekend. Woods, he posted about it yesterday on Instagram on a United Airlines flight from Denver to Orange County. And according to Davis, here's what happened. He was on the flight with his family, his wife, and his son. And his son asked the flight attendant for some ice during the beverage service, and the flight attendant did not respond or react, did not get the ice. So when she came back by, Davis tapped her on the arm to get her attention. At which point, the flight attendant shouted, "Don't hit me," and ran away.
Oh boy.
And they thought that was weird, but it was even stranger that when the flight landed, before they deboarded the plane, officers from the FBI and law enforcement immediately entered the plane and arrested Terrell Davis with no questions asked, right in front of his family, marched him off the plane in front of all the passengers.
Feels
and placed him under arrest.
Feels a little racist there.
He posted that the event was traumatizing. Said, being in front of my two sons, my daughter, my wife, watching me be placed in handcuffs without due process or explanation cannot be undone. And law enforcement is now apologizing after interviewing, I guess, people on the plane, and they pretty much backed Terrell Davis's side of this story. United Airlines is obviously in damage control mode after all of this, but what seemingly was nothing has turned into a pretty big incident involving a pretty big local name.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for what the flight attendants go through on a daily basis dealing with passengers. That sounds like that she's definitely in the wrong for that one. And it you never know. Somebody could be having a really, really crap day, but certainly does not warrant somebody being arrested in front of their family. I'm glad you jammed that San Diego connection story in right before the show.
Pandering,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, exactly. You're the worst of the bunch, and you're from me. You don't have to pander. Remember, you were born here.
True, it was.
Good Lord.
It was. No, I just think there's sometimes a genuine interest from people in San Diego for other people who are from San Diego. Sometimes.
I don't think it does the story it didn't
change anything.
Not one bit. Not
He's
one
from
bit.
San Diego?
No.
So I probably should have mentioned this story, even if Terrell Davis
you
is
could've
going
said
somewhere else.
NFL Hall of Famer,
Fair
Terrell
enough.
Davis.
Fair enough. I am guilty of that from time to time.
Of course, you all remember he ate at Coco's Diner that one time in Mission Valley.
All right, yeah, I'm the worst. Fish tacos for all.
For everyone.
All right, Annie and Elston are coming up next. Summer break continues tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. For Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Tuesday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.